Hey, screeners, how you doing? It's me, the one A. Hey, screeners, how we doing? Apologies, my internet is playing up slightly, even though I'm in the place that's normally got the better internet, and my lighting is a bit blue, so apologies. It's a bit of a mad one. Nico will be joining us. It's not a solo show, and we will be doing the AI. But how is everybody doing? How is everybody doing? Let's see who's in the house already. And also, apologies for the late start. Do not work in hospitality and do a podcast in December. It just doesn't work. And Nico's got daddy duties, so we're a bit late, but we're in the house. We are in the house. Francis Osland is in the house. LOO thought this was a movies with numbers in the title. No, he tweeted it wrong. It's definitely. Right, so yeah, check last week's episode. We definitely said that. Francis also said, "Congrats to England, but I will be rooting for France. Genealogy/heritage, don't know." Didn't know that, Francis. Very interesting. I'm torn. I've said it. Whichever team wins is the team I'm backing to win the World Cup on this one. So yeah, it's a tough one for me. My old French school days are with me on this one, but I am still Brits, UK. Let's see if we can finally do this. Francis also said, "Would you like to play a game?" Does that count as AI? Not too sure.
I'd like to play a game.
How we doing, bro? How we doing?
Life's kicking my ass, brother.
Kicking yours, kicking yours. Okay, well, that's two of us. That's two of us in this thing. Well, tell me about it. What's kicking your ass?
Oh, dude, the thing is that I
Yeah,
actually
I don't know if it's my wire or if you could just boot. You're coming through just a bit low.
do you know what it is?
Hit
It's
me.
that I had a conversation with Anya today. The reality is that as adulting goes, we smashing it at the moment. Like we're doing good. Like when you consider there's a cost of living crisis. But bro, it's so hard balancing everything between doing the work for multiple clients, between being a dad, between being a husband, between doing personal stuff, simple shit like getting together with you and the boys just to have a Christmas dinner. It's like, I know they're going to say first world problems, but yeah, those first world problems are hard at the moment.
Oh, mate. I was just saying it. Like I was like, apologies for running late, but you can't do hospitality and December. It just doesn't work. And I was like, Daddy, the issues. And yeah, it sounds like first world problems, but on the flip, problems are problems, man. Problems are problems. And
Real talk.
yeah.
Who's in the house with us today? Oh, many Francis Lalonde, mixed
Yeah.
memorabilia is here. We've got a few of the regulars. Great to have you guys here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a feeling we're going to start having quieter shows as we get towards Christmas, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that. Also, bro, believe it or not, I'm back in the better side of town, as it were,
Oh.
connection wise, with a table. But I've realized,
Wow.
yeah, hey, table's back in the house.
No lie.
I didn't know, honestly, without even bullshitting, this is the light right now, right? Apologies to any pod squad. Like, I have the whole setup because I have one light here, one at the other place. I literally walked through the door at 10, 11 past 9, and I was like, no time to chat. Hi, family. Nice to see you again.
Goodbye.
We got shits to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It seems a bit intermittent on this side. I may try and sneak back in my room, but that's if it really starts to take a bit. But now we're in here and we're good.
That's good, man. That's very good. I'm happy to hear that. It is just all sorts of difficult, as I said, to do life at the moment, but the movie Mount Rushmore stays strong.
Yeah. Indeed
Coming
it
up
does.
towards the end of season 5. Holy shit.
Season 6 is exciting, but I've warned the world. So, small spoiler, guys, I won't be here this week. When this period is over, just wake me up in 2023, please. I wanna be like a bear and hibernate for at least 2 weeks. I am shattered beyond belief. But guys, no, the positivity.
Power of positivity, brother.
HJ's gone to the dark side. We'll use that as a lighting reference, shall we, Francis? Joking aside.
Very good.
Yeah.
Mixed memorabilia, no world cinema on my top 10s. Pedro Santos, great to see you here, my friend. Opa. Billy Mounts here also. Hello, Nico and AJ. Great to have you here too, mon ami.
Yeah, so
Are you
I'm
good?
literally just trying to get more lighting because it is bugging me. So there's a plug here that I'm gonna try and work with. But yeah, keep going. Just ignore
I
me.
have been good, Billy. Thank you so much for asking. Life has been, as I was just saying before you dropped in, kicking my ass a little bit, but we are coping. And, just that little thing. I mean, you're not such a football fan, AJ, but I'm also trying to somehow cram in the World Cup while all this is going on.
I was a World Cup full of 2 minutes until my predictions went wrong. And I was dead.
Oh, bro, that fucked me too. My
But
bet
is your other one still active or is it gone?
No, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh, mate.
Dude, it was nice while it lasted. Each day that I got greedy because you can cash out early.
Should have, right?
It would only have been like, in hindsight, it's not just, but as I was going, I've got 27,000 pounds here that could potentially come in off of a £1 bet. At the moment, with the matches I've won, I'd quote unquote only be recouping 800. And I was like, I'm not going to do myself dirty on 800 for the sake of 27,000. And then it's like, take the 800, you knob. You spent £1.
Do you know what it is?
Hindsight 2020 is wonderful.
It's greed, but it's the power of discipline versus the power of regret, isn't it? Like,
so much
discipline, but it's like, could you imagine cashing out, being so I'm going to do the discipline thing, and just regretting fucking 27k? Like, you don't see 27k just like that, especially off of a fucking pound. So,
you know what I mean? I was like, oh, let's ride this wave. If I lose this pound, when you start to see those numbers rack up and you'll cash out now, it's like, ow.
Yeah.
800's a very nice Christmas gift to myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of Christmas gift, did you see that customized controller I sent in the group?
Oh, it's looking nice.
You get me?
Nice. I'm not gonna lie.
All 150 quid of it, but I was like, oh, that feels like a nice cheeky Christmas present to myself. I'm this close, but if that 800 had come in, not a question. But
actually,
this close. Matte black and chrome. I was like, ooh, it's a bit of me that. Bottom line, Nico's down £1. Yes, correct.
yeah. That's the best way.
Literally the healthy way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Billy Mount, in terms of the reviews, listen, I really enjoy doing the movie reviews for the channel. I would like to do more of them. The thing is that they do require a lot of time. And I do like to edit them, so it's not just me talking for fucking 10 minutes straight without AJ. It's just me talking on the screen. It's like, I can edit it so it's got some pacier jump cuts to it. I need to usually put in video. There's some keyframing I need to do. It does take a lot of time. And honestly, it doesn't bring that much back to the channel in terms of views in relation to the time spent editing it. Bearing in mind, I've got a fucking load of editing work that I actually get paid for to do. I think what I might do moving forward in 2023 is do more trailer reactions. And on that note, let's fucking talk some trailers. Whoo! You seen some shit come out in the last few days?
Bro, no, I haven't. I am just about lucky to remember today was Tuesday. I'm not joking when I tell you back-to-back work at the moment. So I don't even know what's true. I saw a post that said Mario's trailer came out and looked better than the first. Like, people seem more accepted. But
no. The first trailer was good. The second trailer is even better. There was nothing wrong with those trailers other than
the voice. I know the voice really.
Mario. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Fair enough.
No, the voice remains a problem. The trailer looks really fun. I'm actually convinced this is going to be a fun movie. The Indiana Jones 5 trailer I saw and people were losing their mind. I'm like, I am smelling Kingdom of the Crystal Skull on this thing.
I really wish I'd seen this stuff. I saw a poster for Indy 5 and that's as far as I've gone. Like, Instagram notified me that there was a poster and that is it.
It was the Indy 5 trailer. It felt heavy CG, And I was like, ugh. Last time we saw this was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but it was kind of the way that they've animated it, the way that they've color graded it. It all felt a bit samey and not a good way. And yes, Ford is like 80 now, Billy
Well,
Mount.
this
And
is exactly what I was going to say. Like, Billy's got it on the head there.
no, but it's not just Ford. It's the mise en scène. Everything around him is looking a bit like over CG'd. Transformers the Beast, I'm conflicted as fuck because I've completely lost trust in that franchise, with the exception of Bumblebee being a recent success. Listen, if you're not a Transformers fan, the trailer's cool. But if you love the Transformers the way you know I do, oh my god, the canon has been bastardized. Oh my fucking god!
You know,
they've done the equivalent of Batman in his peak fighting Batman of the future in his peak. It's like, that doesn't work. Doesn't work. Chronology is a thing that doesn't work. They can't exist in that same time frame together. Going if you're the Transformers, it's like, ugh. I'm sure it does look like a barrel of fun, and I'm sure it's going to get my fucking money on opening weekend.
No. You're sure you can guarantee it will do. However, it's just a case of your expectation is lower than you would want it to be for a Transformers movie.
Yeah, I'm also not a fan of the Beasts. Never have been. Optimus Prime, not Optimus Primal. Not a fan.
Cool.
What else came out? There was the Transformers. There was Indy 5. There was the Mario. I think that was it. Yeah. Cool. Trailer roundup. Let's talk movies. Fuck it.
Just a small let's talk movies. Why have we not had a follow-up to Bumblebee as opposed to going back into the other franchise that wasn't?
Because Bumblebee didn't make money.
People.
And this is where, but then here's where the statistic lacks nuance. It's like, why did Bumblebee not make money? Because Transformers 5 was so fucking bad that people were like, because your average Joe Schmo, with the highest of respect, didn't know that Bumblebee was a completely different director, a completely different scriptwriter, a completely different producer. The only thing that was similar between Bumblebee and those Transformers movies was the fact that Paramount were the distributors. That's it.
Yeah.
It was an entirely different film.
It was a semi-reboot, let's be honest. It really was.
Completely.
And a welcomed semi-reboot at that.
Completely. And for
me, I will never forget that opening scene. You needed to be there with Nico to be there. Guys. It's the most exciting moment I've seen. The most I've seen someone excited in the movie. Absolutely had me.
Bro, I lost it. I was like, this is the fucking Transformers as it should be. Ravage, eject. Yes, please, more of that. No, we get the Beast instead. Great. Anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. Have you got did you see that? I know that you keep on saying that, like, yeah, schedule's fucked. Last weekend, the Top Gun Mavericks in the cinema, AJ.
It's not gonna happen.
Fuck.
It honestly won't, bro. Like, I am to the fucking wire, man. To the wire. Billy, this is an interesting question. Hello?
Yep. AJ, we're good. You good to go? Am I still live? AJ's frozen. Billy, I'll read your question. Nico and AJ, what are your thoughts and opinions on Seth Rogen? Because I don't find him funny, and I'm not looking forward to him as Donkey Kong. Let me remove AJ there. So here's a funny one.
You remove him.
Back you go.
Seth Rogen. You know my views on Seth Rogen.
It's one that splits the silver screen dudes, this.
Yeah, like, I don't... There's two things. Like, every time Seth Rogen's been in the film, I find him average, not hilarious. Yeah? And then he really ruined my boy, the Green Hornet. Like, I was very excited at the prospect of the Green Hornet.
That wasn't him. That was terrible script writing. He had to work with that shit.
Yeah, but I think I was also nervous at the fact that they had a comedian playing the Green Hornet, which was never the comedy-esque superhero, you know? I could understand why, you know, a newspaper reporter with the worst kind of disguise ever, but it was terrible. It was terrible. I don't think anyone should have approached that script, and Seth actually did and acted in it, and yeah, it just didn't work out. But I mean, look, sometimes you could go back to something like the 40-year-old version. Yeah, he's a laugh, but I've never found him hilarious. He's never been that guy in a film for me.
Oh yes, for me, very much for me. You know, I adore him. I adore everything in that kind of Judd Apatow verse. Like, Seth Rogen in 40-Year-Old Virgin, I thought was amazing. I thought he was superb in Knocked Up and actually delivered some good dramatic chops.
Knocked Up. Yes, I actually like him.
I thought he was brilliant in Jobs as Steve Wozniak. I thought he was superb in that. I also think kind of stole the show in that Lion King remake as Pumbaa. I thought he was fantastic.
He was good. He was good. But no, Social Network. Sorry, Jobs and Knocked Up. I think
Zach and Miri make a porno. I thought he actually brought some interesting dramatic chops to
average on that.
And everyone forgets Superbad, which was fucking brilliant.
No, Jonah Hill for me. What he did do, and it's weird because most people lean to the first one. I actually enjoyed him in in the States we call it Neighbours. Over here we called it Bad Neighbours, but it was a sequel.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I preferred the first one.
Yeah, most people will do, but I preferred number 2. Weirdly,
I love those Bad Neighbours movies. I also thought he was really good in Pam and Tommy.
I need to finish that. He wasn't bad, but I need to finish it. I'm still like episode 1 or 2. Like I'm just
And this movie definitely not for you because you're not a stoner. But Pineapple Express, booyah! Now I love Seth Rogen. He always makes me laugh. Yeah, let's get into this, AJ.
Cool. Let's do this. Right. Before we do get into it, would you like to tell everyone what the movie Mount Rushmore is all about?
Yes. For those of you tuning in, I imagine you've been here before. Hello to the wide film family. For those of you listening to us on Pod Squad or watching us live on video on demand, thank you. We do get a few hundred views of these now on YouTube, which is lovely. So if you are one of the people watching us, please do give the video a thumbs up and leave your comment down below with the hashtag VOD Squad so we know that we can send you some love on the next show. How does the show work? AJ and I each get assigned a topic. We go our separate ways. We come right back here into recording and deliver to you, the Silver Screen Dudes, our film family, our individual top 10s. This week, AJ will go first, delivering his bottom 3. I will then deliver my bottom 3. AJ will deliver his next 2. I will deliver my next 2. And then we will trade one apiece. If at any time, while we are rounding off our individual top 10 lists, one person has a movie in a higher position, that person will say...
Punt.
And we will punt and talk about that movie when we get to the high position. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10 lists, we will create the Movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential, diverse, must-see movies of the genre, which this week is...
movies with artificial intelligence.
For
so
disclaimer,
shout out to my boy, James, because Jimmy has always told me about the TV... series / mini films that is Love, Death, Robots. Have caught a few of those for it's a Netflix series, but they're all like mini films. It's not a series connected. I've mentioned it once before. They're actually really not bad, but I couldn't think of an actual character, and wasn't the week.
Okay.
Yeah, check it out. Some of them are like 15 minutes, some are like 6 minutes. They're not bad though. And in a thing of artificial intelligence, that one was worth of a mention.
I do have to put a small disclaimer out because of the nature of this list. It's kind of a bit of a rehash of Silver Screen greatest hits.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing this and I was like, have we done this before? Was it done? And I was like, Right now, I can draw for this very quickly because guess what? AJ watched no movies this week.
My
AJ
guy, look at you and your film knowledge. Look at that. Fucking far cry from season 1, my brother.
Oh, mate, I wish. I mean, there's going to be a few names out here that I'm just like, it was that. And it's like, really, it's just gravitas of what hit me. Others, there was one AI that I was going to bring up, but the film still hasn't hit me correctly, and I was going to put it as worse. So that's that. I'm sure you know where I'm going with that. 7 versions of one movie. Anyway, and we continue. And in at number 10 for me, Baymax, Big Hero 6.
Very angry I didn't think of this.
Can I be honest? Last minute. Very, very last minute. I was like, oh shit, Baymax, of course. The ever lovable little AI robot created by a brother who sadly passed away, and his younger brother comes along and meets this machinery, and the friendship and bond is built from there. It's absolutely, it was one of those films I wasn't sure how much I'd appreciate. People always like, oh yeah, Big Hero 6, Big Hero 6. I was like, it's about a robot. Where are we going with this? And I think especially because of the name, you're like, it's it's going to be one of those failed superhero movies. You know, it's like it's not going to be incredible. It's going to be one of those failed superhero movies. It's more than that. It's the emotional journey that this film delivers that I think is so touching and warming. You know, it's Baymax can do some cool stuff. That's all nice and what have you, but it's the emotion that you have in it, and the lasting imprint and memory of somebody, and what it meant to have this around was what really touched me about this film. And yeah, it hit me in a way I didn't expect it to.
Yeah, and it hits you right from the get-go, with what happens to his brother and how he inherits Baymax and the journey they go on. Like, it really was kind of like this movie. I caught it out of nowhere. I watched it when I was still living in Asia, with Anya, funnily enough, and we went to see it a few times at the cinema because at that time there was literally nothing on, and we were like weekly cinema goers, you know. Also, as I've mentioned before on pod, the cinemas in Thailand are fucking sensational, you know, full reclining velvet lazy boys, the works, you know, free popcorn top-ups, like you get treated like a king. It's bliss. But yeah, and so we were just going for the like, oh fuck it, let's go eat some popcorn and watch a cartoon. Oh shit, this is good. Like crazy good. And it just makes you think, why aren't Disney putting more movies like this out when they clearly have the capacity to still knock it out the park?
You know, that's the thing. I think Disney have relied on the fact that they've got Disney Studios itself is lacking. Let's be real. If you look at Disney as an enterprise, yeah, it's there. You've got your Pixar.
You got your vanilla, yes.
Yeah, you got your Pixar, you got your MCU, you got your Star Wars. But Disney Studios, come on, man. You guys have brought out the bangers before. Bring them back. Also, while we're at number 10 and before we go any further, we forgot to say last week's topic. Shall we do that now, or shall we do it at intermission?
Go for it.
Right. So, guys, before we normally get into our top 10, what we do is us, the Silver Screen Dudes, will create the movie Mount Rushmore. You, the screeners, have the bigger challenge of voting for the must-see movie out of the 4 movies that we have built. Last week, our topic was
the best Scottish movie, excluding Braveheart and Trainspotting.
Right. So it was over to you guys to head on over to We Love Movies at Movie Pulse for You, fronted by good old JT, or even at Movie MT Rushmore, the good old Silver Screen Dudes page. And that's where you got to crown El Capitan, El Numero Uno, the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. And to quote Highlander, in the end, there can only be one. So our contenders were
My Name is Joe, Ratcatcher, Filth, and The Angel's Share. There were some weird comments, I have to say, because people were like, there's one in particular, not going to name drop, it's on the Twitter feed, but it was like, I've never heard of any of these, and I'm a quarter Scottish. And it's like,
okay. It's a shame on you then, not us.
I just kind of went back to him. I said, well, look at this as an opportunity to discover some amazing movies that you probably should have seen with your quarter. Like,
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? Like,
am I to blame?
I haven't heard of these. I'm like, by the way, people did not like this topic online. It got less than 100 votes, which is ridiculously low for us.
Do you know what it is? I think we said it as well. We went for the edutainment on it, right? We could have gone down here's Braveheart, here's Trainspotting 1 and 2, plus one other.
Yeah, literally one other, make up the number.
Yeah. Exactly. But it was an edutainment thing, and that's what it's all
just gone Braveheart versus Trainspotting.
Yeah, exactly. Like 50-50 vote.
Let them fight.
Yeah. Right.
But which way do you think it went?
This is a weird one, but I think just based on how hard it was to find, The Angel's Share at number 4.
Yes, sir. 17%, which is not terrible, to be honest, as percentages go. It's not Coach Carter territory.
Always love hearing that.
It hurts me too, brother. You know that.
This is a weird one. I don't want it to be number 3, Filth.
No.
Ratcatcher.
No. Sorry. Ratcatcher at 3. Yes. 20. My fault. 20% with Ratcatcher.
My Name is Joe at number 2.
Yes, sir. 27%. And Filth, because it had the big Hollywood star, came in at number 1. Obviously, you put James McAvoy on the cover. Of course, it's going to get numbered. 36%. Oh, him for him. Like, duh.
4 Scots that you don't know versus the Scots that you do know. Like, come on.
You know what I mean? Like, come on.
In a way, like if we had gone down the the reaching way it would have been. We'd have had like a Gerald Butler here, at different angles, and just have like 4 Scottish actors that people do know. But hey.
And Billy Mountain answered your question. Absolutely not Suicide Squad Ratcatcher. Ratcatcher is a movie we discussed last week. It has got, it is genuinely a movie that I think is must see. It's absolutely must see. Lynn Ramsey, who's the director of this movie, is a sensational director. I did a huge rant about her last week. You must see Ratcatcher, Billy Mount. It's if you want a movie that'll fucking hit you in the stomach, this is the one. Cole Warner Reviews is here. Hello, Cole. Have you seen Clerks 1 and 2? Great comedies. Yes. Clerks 1 and 2 are fantastic. Love Cole's 1 and 2. And Cole Warner Reviews is picking AI from 2001. Steven Spielberg, underrated. Liverpool Music is here too. Hello, Liverpool Music. Is Silent Running good? Can't bring myself to watch it. AJ, this might be one for you.
Silent Running?
I'm putting it to you because I don't know what the fuck it is.
Okay, I was like, have we mentioned this? Is this what I brought up in one of my like AJ moments of digging deep? I really apologize. I can't say I've heard of it.
Can't help you with this one, Liverpool Music.
I'm gonna Google it and see if like even the poster rings a bell to me, because I don't recall seeing it. Silent Running, yeah?
Silent.
1970s. Oh god, no, I've not seen it.
Why are you saying that? It's like, oh no, we don't watch 70s movies. We absolutely do watch 70s.
I'm not saying we have, but I'm just saying, like, I was just thinking if it's one of these new films. No, it's nothing against the age of it. Hell, we've done the top 10 70s movies. No, can't say I've seen it. Apologies on that.
One to watch then.
Cool.
The attitude I've got for you, Liverpool Music, is that if you haven't seen it, watch it. Always good to see and appreciate new movies.
Do you know what? Bringing it back to Big Hero 6, sometimes it's not even what you expect it to be. You think it might be terrible, and then it just develops into something you'd appreciate. So, yeah, back in Nico, just give it a shot. If it's not for you, just stop it, turn it off.
Yeah, just stop. If it's not resonating, you can always just hit that stop button and go back to watching Love is Blind, which I'm not shitting on you on. I watched it, and I hate myself for it, but here we go. And Cole Warner Reviews. Spoiler. No, it's not. We all know Terminator 2 is in number 1.
So here's the thing. Spoiler, no, it's not. And again, it would have to be the AI itself as opposed to the film, right? Or well, I think there's movies with artificial intelligence. I picked characters over movie, to be fair.
Didn't think about it that deep. I just went AI. You can go in. Cool. I've really not been very profound with this one. No. But Cole Warner Reviews, this may shock you. Terminator 2 is not even my favorite Terminator movie anymore. This changed with me in the last few years.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes agrees with you, but I don't.
Liverpool Music says Mark Commode raves over it. Same crew as Blade Runner. Listen, I'm a big fan of the Commode Meister. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So I would definitely check it out, man.
Cool.
You're number 9, AJ.
In at number 9, the slapper himself. And Sonny.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's my number 8. So let's talk.
Higher for you. Do you want to go further?
Do you know what I really liked about Sonny? I mean, this is obviously from one of the godfathers of sci-fi, Isaac Asimov. I have to say, I really, really appreciated the design on Sonny. It felt very fresh and clean. And I was like, I've not seen anything like this before. It kind of
inspired someone else I'll be bringing up later. I feel
it felt old, but also new and fresh. And I was like, that's a very difficult balance to draw, to make something like a robot kind of look clunky and old, but also make it look really new. There's a very, very difficult design balance to achieve, and I think they did it with aplomb. By the way, on the topic of Slappy McSlappy, I'm so excited for his new movie. I can't tell you. Emancipation, Apple TV, Antoine Fuqua directed. You know what I mean, bro? I know you. I'm saying, have you seen the trailer? I know that's not your jam at the moment, but it looks sensational to the degree where I'd be like, if Will wasn't kind of vetoed from the Oscars for the next few years, he'd be up for a nomination again. Literally, I think it's got that in it.
Again, we are talking about this year's best male Oscar winner. That's who he is. But that's not what's being spoken about, and that is such a tarnish.
He's only got himself to blame for that. I've got no
Listen,
sympathy on
no
that.
sympathy, but I'm just saying how stupid and short-sighted.
Not only that, people, there's a huge cancel culture surrounding Will Smith now. Now, I'm not about canceling people, and with the exception of one or two, literally Paige's song from AEW said there's a lyric in it that goes, "Oh no, they'll never let go of something you said 10 years ago. They're canceling you, and they won't stop until we're all zombified." Great track, by the way, Zombified. Check it out. But yeah,
Soraya,
I mean,
by the way, not Paige.
Soraya, yeah, you've got to. Thank you for that. You've got to fucking. We, not you. We have got to get over this. He said some shit 10 years ago. That makes him bad in today's society. I'm going to put my head up and go, I said some outlandish shit when I was in school that would not fly now. I'm not going to say what because of cancel culture.
I say
you, my friend, said some fucked up shit.
I say this now. If the old me released a pod back then,
cancel.
No. Back then, we would have had the most subscribers. People would have said we're the most fucking hilarious guys walking this planet, right? I can guarantee, without even being arrogant, I wouldn't be surprised if we had hit the thousands each week, like tuning in, because who we were.
For the shit we said then, yes.
Yeah. However, keep those episodes in a time capsule and let today's generation see who we are. This episode would not be happening, right? And that's just fact. That is just fact. And this is the problem. You can mature, you can understand certain things. And I think what people need to appreciate as well. Now, don't get me wrong, there were certain jokes, like I remember reading James Gunn's jokes, and I'm not singling him out. Some people I get it.
But let's talk about him because
I'll do it for the benefit of this, is that I may not have found it funny, but there are some people who found it funny. I never found it funny back then, but I know people who did back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's subjective. But what people have to understand is you can't cancel someone when society was that. Let's bring it back even further than James Gunn. Let's bring up the major from a comedy that I love, Fawlty Towers. Right?
Yo.
Churchill wasn't
an
N. Okay, I remember this is still on. I can talk for UK Netflix. I can't talk for anywhere else. This is just blasted. Now we're not talking in an NWA movie where the word is frequented left, right, and center. This is in a way where
upper middle class white hotelier.
Yeah, exactly. This is a time when you think you were using that in a derogative term, not in a NIGGA term. This was the definite ER, right? And that was comedy, and it's still not being censored. Now that I'm not up for 40 Towers to be cancelled, please.
No, hell no.
I'm looking for that to be at least bleeped. Can we at least acknowledge a beep?
But that's the different world we're living in. This is the point I'm making. It's like,
the world you're in.
Do I like where we've come now as a society? Partly. I like the fact that where we're at now is that we're encouraging people to be themselves, and we're slamming people who have a problem with people being themselves. You know, like the KKK and the homophobes, not about that anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, no, those people...
Don't say that anymore. It's not like you were waving the KKK flag. You know?
Not me. I mean, people in general were like, oh, well, maybe the gays are spreading that AIDS disease. It's like, that sentence shouldn't exist. You know what I mean? It's like, it's fucked up. I'm living in a world now where if my young daughter came to me in 15 years and went, Daddy, I think I'm a strong, independent, proud lesbian, I'd look at myself and go, yes. Then I don't have to deal with the asshole men you'd bring home. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, I just let people be people. Ezra Miller wants to, be called they and them. I'm like, okay, fine. Sam Smith wants to 1 week be called he, next week she, next week they, them, and can't decide. I'm like, all right, I feel shit for you that you can't decide what you are. Doesn't affect my life. Let fucking people be people. Figure yourself out. Figure your shit out. Doesn't affect me in any way. Keep singing your music. I like it, right? But then you've got people going, he can't fucking decide. Look at all these problems trans causing. It's like, oh, shut up. But then you've got the flip side of this. And yeah, let's talk taboo here. I don't think it's right that a trans athlete got gold. Sue me.
I'm all
Wow, iRobot sent us down a rabbit hole. Fuck me.
How did that happen?
Will Smith.
Smacky.
Smacky.
Like, here we go.
And people go, how dare you be transphobic? No. Here's my thing. One person's rights do not take precedence over another person's rights. Is there an argument to be made that we need to be extra sensitive and extra careful for the people who have been persecuted and plagiarized and slandered versus the people who haven't? Duh. Also, water is wet. Now, can we move on from stating the obvious and let's get into the meat and bones of this, right? Here's where I'm coming from. Trans athlete swimmer. Am I proud that a trans athlete has a platform on which to perform? Of course. Am I happy with the fact that it's at the expense of women who have literally dedicated their entire fucking lives? And that, you know who I felt bad for and all that? The silver medalist.
Yeah.
Because if that trans athlete isn't there, that girl's winning gold. And for all intents and purposes, that girl deserves to win gold. Now, don't take what I'm saying out of proportion and say, oh, well, you're saying that the trans athlete's not a woman. Like, I don't give a fuck about that. They can identify however the hell they want because I don't think that's damaging and it doesn't affect me. What I think is highly damaging is taking the social labeling of it out and actually focusing on the actual biology of how an athlete is made up. Men from birth, it's not something you even develop in pregnancy. It's from birth. You are born with more fibers, higher muscle density, larger ability to circulate blood in your body, more fibers in your muscles, larger lungs, so you can circulate oxyhemoglobin around more, therefore fucking move faster, right? It is a natural fucking fact. This isn't about you're wrong and you're transphobic. It's like, no, biology, motherfucker. Argue with science.
Do you know what I would say? And some might say it's wrong. Some will say, but it's exclusionary. You're excluding these individuals, right? Is it not on the Olympic Council or the sports councils around to create a fair division, which then allows those who, it's either you can compete with the men,
yes,
or
vice
the men
versa.
or women, whatever you. It's a slippery hole because it sounds like I'm being exclusionary, and again, everyone has.
No, you're not. It's not exclusionist. The women don't compete with the men. How's that exclusioning?
But you get what I'm saying?
Excluding.
It's. I'm not segregational, should I even say? It's not that I'm out to segregate even more, but there becomes a blurred line which creates an injustice, as you said, on another individual because of the.
So why do trans rights take right over women's rights?
Yeah, and this is why
because these are two different parts of society who have been strongly persecuted throughout history. Don't be fucking telling me that women haven't been fucked with throughout history. There is literally a book written by the Christian church called the Malleus Maleficarum, which taught the church how to hunt witches and kill them.
There we are.
So don't be telling me women weren't persecuted throughout history. They were. Now the fact that women have the right to compete on the same level as men, earn the same income as men, ideally, fucking vote. Don't be telling me that women didn't have a cushy, that women had a cushy ride along the way, because they didn't. So what I'm about is why the fuck have we now just decided, well, women step aside because we have to deal with this taboo topic right here. And it's like, no, you really fucking don't. Treat everyone equally. You know what they did in Thailand, AJ? And this shit is on YouTube now. I've told you, haven't I? Like, go on YouTube now if you think I'm a lie and just Google Lady Boy Muay Thai Fighter. Do you know what the WPMF, the World Professional Muay Thai Federation, did? There was a very, very good Muay Thai fighter. Born male, competed as a male, decided to have transition. Thank you. Came back and said, I still want to compete. The WPMF said, sure, compete with the men. And the trans athlete didn't even fucking complain. He was just like, okay, sweet. She even sort of went, cool, let's do this. Got in the ring and kicked the man's ass in their first fight back. What was really sweet about it, again, this is on YouTube, it's free viewing, go and enjoy it. It's a really fun, inspirational watch, actually. And what was really sweet is that when they were fighting, trans athlete was full man. Believe me, there was no ladying about there. That was full male. I will fuck your shit up. And he did. They did. She did. What was really sweet is after the bell had rung, after round 5, and the trans athlete had won, kind of reverted back into ladyboy mode. It was like, why? Oh, hello. It was really fucking sweet. And what was cool is that she went to give a kiss to the fighter who lost, and the fighter took it really well, gave her a hug, and I was like, and where's the beef?
Yeah.
So easy.
Yeah.
You can identify however the fuck you want. But when it comes to how your body is built from birth, fucking compete with the people who are on the same level as you.
Yeah.
And now back to Sunny.
Yeah. So, for those of you who haven't seen iRobot,
Jesus.
Excuse me. We're in a world where robots are essentially used as servants,
Slaves.
Yeah, essentially slave servants. Yeah, I suppose. Well, you buy it. Yeah, it is a slave, isn't it? It's not that.
It is a slave. It's a robot uprising for slavery,
And then what happens when a robot starts to get out of control? What happens when a robot slave is accused of murder? What happens then? And this is the situation. Is it even possible? And this is where. And then Will Smith has had a previous incident with robots that he believes that yes, they've always been capable of murder. Da 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 da. And then the story unfolds. Was this robot responsible? Is this robot capable? What's really happened here? How did it really happen? And that's the rest of it. So it's always been a bit of fun, bit of interest in there. So that's number 9. That was Sunny. Number 8. It's from your world. I doubt he made your list. So I didn't even realize that it's one of those play on number things. But I fell in love with him the minute I saw him. In at number 8. Good old BB-8, Star Wars.
That's all you, brother. Go for it. Although I love the choice.
Here's the thing, right? I can't remember if it made it on the list the last time. It's a known fact. I am more Trek than Wars, and I'm not deep in either world, really. But I've just followed one more than the other. And Star Wars itself was something I was, all right, we'll do it. What have you? Bring it on The Force Awakens, and I see this little character, and I remember all the trailers before, and I'm like, yeah, some fake R2D2 fucking bullshit. Like, it's not gonna be there. And I regret every word. I loved this guy and everything that he done. It was just like, no. You obviously wanted to see R2 and BB-8 meet, but he had his own personality. He had more character than R2 ever did. And I literally made sure I looked for this image, because this is when I was like, I love this guy. John Boyega's character, is it Saul? Is that his name?
John Boyega?
Finn, that's the one, Finn.
You'll think of Saul Guerrero, who was played by Forrest Whitaker.
God, no. I don't want to make that mistake again. But when him and Finn are getting on, and he gives them the thumbs up, and this came up where he lit up the little flames, and that thumbs up came up, I was like, no, I love this guy. Like, absolute winner. So, yeah, BB-8's always just been that character for me. Yes, I know Have you got any Star Wars?
Do I have any Star Wars? That is a good question. I think just for the sake of a bit of variety, I kind of stuck away from Star Wars.
Yeah, but look, there's nothing but love for R2 and C-3PO.
Of course.
They're always going to get that love. But BB-8 is something fresh for me, and I just thought he was cool. So that was it. That's my bottom 3.
I like it. And I love Pedro's comment here. Hopefully some of what was said, done in the past wouldn't be appropriate today. That's a sign of progress, but you cannot judge 1970 with 2020 eyes. Well fucking said.
Exactly. And that's the thing. And this is the thing. If you've done something inherently wrong, which throughout time is wrong, aka Will Smith slaps, you don't just go around slapping a host to a show for a joke knowing he's a comedian. Like, that's it. You want to heckle, bro. Heckle all day long. Yeah? Keep my wife's name out your mouth. All good. Shut up, bro. Yeah. Bit unprofessional, but we can allow it. Do you know what I mean? Physically putting hands on someone, that's a disrespect. Couple of jokes and sentiments the other way.
Back to it again and again and again. Do you really think you would have done it if that was The Rock?
Yeah, well, listen, Mick Foley put that post out, and yeah. You may have been Ali, but you were not taking on that guy in any way, bro.
I also love what Ricky Gervais said afterwards. He was like, oh, I think Chris went light on him. I would have talked about the affairs and cheating.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, you could have buried him. You could have buried the guy.
That's what I'm saying. But Chris even said, he's like, oh, come on, that was a nice one. Like, he kind of said it. It was like, yeah, of all the things you pulled for, the moment you said Jada, everyone went, You let her off easy. She got off easy.
For sure. But going back to one thing we saw live, just a quick last bit on the Will Smith part was, it's a Netflix spoiler for anyone who's going to watch it, but Chris Rock, and he goes, people want to know, did it hurt? Of course it fucking hurt. He played Ali. I played Pookie. Ali versus Pookie. How's that fair? And that, yeah, let's be real. Yeah. Wouldn't have done it to The Rock. There we go.
He wouldn't. He's a bully, which I don't like. But yeah. In at number 10 for me is a movie I bring up every now and then because it has its place in my heart. It's a movie world that is inundated with AI. Like, you could have pulled anything or just a movie in general because there's so much AI in it. But this is the iconic one, I think. So for the purpose of my number 10, I've gone with Johnny Cab in Total Recall. Do you remember this, dude?
Do you know, Total Recall, it's in my Top Gun territory. It's films that was on Sky Movies all the time as a kid. Have I revisited these films? No. Do I remember little bits of it? Yeah. The character looks familiar as fuck, but no, I couldn't tell you a single thing. But yeah,
they somehow managed to make Johnny Cab a sarcastic motherfucker. It was great. So, I mean, as I said, the world of Total Recall is inundated with AI, from the self-driving cars, the self-driving trains, the way that they administer medicine, the way that his breakfast gets made in the morning. It's all AI essentially, right? But Johnny Cab sticks out because this is at the point where Arnold has been to Recall. He wakes up in a cab and he can't remember how did I get in here? And Johnny Cab just going to say, "Hello, you are in a Johnny Cab. How did I get in here? The door opened. You got in." But then what's funny is when he turns back towards the camera, he does this eye roll after he said that. It's like, haha, he has personality too. And then you've got this other part where he's got into another Johnny Cab and he's saying, speed up, get to, basically get to the chopper stuff, right? Get there faster. And Johnny Cab is like, "I'm sorry, I would be exceeding speed limits." And he rips Johnny Cab out from his seat and commandeers the taxi. And Johnny's like, "You are having an accident. You are." And he's still active as Arnold's getting out the car. And he's like, "That will be $48, please. Sue me." And then
all of these parts are ringing so much bells. Can I ask a question?
Johnny Cab literally comes alive then and tries to run Arnold over. And I'm like, okay, this is memorable. This is seriously fucking memorable.
Is he in the remake of Total Recall? No, fair enough.
Honestly, the remake of Total Recall,
lacking.
So vanilla. Nothing inherently wrong with it. Just such a shadow of what it should have been. Great cast. I just don't know why it didn't click together. And it's like they tried to take the original story of Total Recall, but tell it in a non-linear fashion. And I was like, well, why?
Yeah, it's weird when you try to... Yeah, I get you. It's weird. It's a weird play and call.
But yeah, Johnny Cab, Total Recall. My number 9, I'm not going to stay on long, but iconic to say the least. HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Still not seen it, huh?
It may make it in the new year.
Hey,
maybe.
I'll say this: the movie definitely, I'm gonna have to speak vague here to not ruin shit for you. When Hal is no longer present on screen, you definitely miss Hal.
Fair enough.
It's like I need Hal back on screen now. The movie takes a bit of a nosedive in the third act. Nosedive, no. It depends how art house and metaphysical you want to get with the message. Like, it's super weird, the ending. Like, I think knowing you'll love everything with Hal and what's going on with him and the astronauts. And then the moment they kind of move away from that set and it gets all crazy, I think you're going to I think you will hate that. You'll be like, what the fuck was the point of the baby in the toilet? I know you. It's going to drive you nuts.
I'm saying this because I'm predicting it as well. I feel like you're just giving me edges, and I'm like, it's gonna do a flip that's gonna piss me the fuck off.
Yeah.
And I think me and Kubrick are already in a very weird place anyway. So
You
this
are
is
indeed.
gonna tip it. This is just gonna tip it. I'm gonna be like, no, sorry, no. Like, oh man. Okay.
Kubrick's brilliant, but you have to be in a Kubrick mood for Kubrick.
Fair enough. I'm
You
yet.
really fucking do. I think he's still vying as my favorite director of all time, but he's out there, fucking Kubrick. Like, you have to be in a Kubrick mood. But yeah, HAL 9000, ominous, and what's so powerful about him is that it is effectively just a creepy monotone voice personified by a red circle. Hello, I am Hal. It's the calmness of everything makes it so fundamentally creepy. I actually read something today which said they were toying with the idea of having it as a woman's voice for a while, which I think I would have liked even more. Because
Sometimes that's even more menacing. Like, it does work.
Really, like, you've got this idea, because Hal kind of is the overseer of their spaceship. So the moment you put a woman in that, a woman's voice in that position, most people would then obviously get mother connotations, and it's like, Jesus Christ, the ship's mother is betraying them, and it's like, for me, a woman's voice would have worked even better. That said, this is fucking excellent, nonetheless. Quite a lot of few comments have come in here. Let's see. Billy Mount says Total Recall is awesome, and I thought the remake was all right. And I agree with you. It does have some great visual effects. And Francis Long says, damn, totally forgot about Hal. Mixed Memorabilia says, at the time, Total Recall broke the record for the highest used budget for a movie. Does not surprise me.
Yeah,
There's some money. There is some money in that movie. Pedro Sancto says, AJ, if you haven't seen 2001, do yourself a favor and look it up for when it's playing in a big screen, preferably in 70mm. So true.
Prince Charles Fulton may be the one for that. Depending on episodes, I may try and do that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, shit.
I'm not going to read these other comments out just because I think it might give a bit away for you.
Okay.
But Francis Long, great pull here. Resident Evil, the Red Queen. That is a great shout. Didn't think of that one. You're all going to die down here. So creepy. So creepy. And Billy Mount, Nico, will a certain Kubrick movie about an AI be on the list? I am drawing a blank here. What movie are you? Fuck. Hang on.
Unless that was posted before. No, it couldn't have been posted before. How?
No, I've got no other Kubrick on here. I am drawing a blank, Billy Mount. Refresh my memory, please. I can't
think of one myself through the top of my head.
Can't think of one either. So that was my 9. My number 8 was Sunny. So over to your number 7.
Your number what was Sunny?
8.
You've done 10, 9, 8, yeah?
Yeah. Johnny Cab, HAL 9000, and Sunny.
Yeah. Cool. Right, in at number 7, fresh from this year's cinema.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna love him, but I love him. Socks from Lightyear.
Come on, man. You loved Socks, didn't you?
Socks for the win, man. Like, honestly, the same way we're going to talk about BB-8, Socks was that, right? Now, let's be honest. We've had the Toy Story trilogy. We had Toy Story 4, the Toy Story you do not mention. Then they came out and kept the franchise going in a way that said, I'm interested. We're talking Lightyear, the story behind Buzz Lightyear. I'm like, okay,
so cool.
You're going to give me Chris Evans.
Movie about a movie, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. You're going to give me Chris Evans as the voice because it's not the toy version. I'm like, this is also interesting. Let's see where we're going to go with this. And then you start to see this poster and you see this cat everywhere. And you're like, oh, here we go. They're just trying to create a little marketing toy ploy. Here we go. New toy for the kids or what have you.
But they did. Very effectively.
Listen, let me finish because I'm a hit hard on this, right?
And for the adults too.
Like, but there was no cat in Toy Story. Like, if it was so important to Buzz Lightyear, what was the cat then? Yeah, and at the time I didn't know it was a AI cat. When I found out about Socks, I wanted to buy a Socks. I was like, that's the best marketing ploy. You fuckers have got me in. Like, if anyone got me a Socks, I wouldn't be opposed. Like, it's that cool. I thought Socks was all kinds of cool. Just some of the gizmos that he could do, but it was the responses that he gave that were just so timely and It gave that comic relief when needed. I was like, this cat is fucking awesome. I remember doing that, and then shout out to Big Toe. I remember him seeing the film. And he's like, I fucking want that cat. And I was like, yeah, man, Socks, man. I love Socks. Like the film had those moments, and Socks was just there for Buzz throughout. Now, let's be honest. There's a moment where the missus and yourself got very emotional for it quite early on in the film, and to know that, like through it, this was the one constant that he actually had is actually really cool. Like, yeah, Socks for the win, man.
Pixar had a good year this year, I have to say. Between Lightyear and Turning Red, I thought this was one of their better years in a while.
Red. Can't lie, I still need to hit Turning Red.
Oh, it's good, really good.
Yeah, listen, it's just time that's just not been on my side for that one. But yeah, I have actually heard nothing but positive on it.
Turning Red's great. It's not Lightyear good, but not to the degree that they should have put it on streaming. That movie deserved a fucking screen release.
Okay, it's not Lightyear good, but Lightyear has background, yeah? Turning Red is original content. It kind of goes back to what you were saying with Big Hero 6. Sometimes just give me something new, give me something fresh, and that's what I'm enjoying about the idea of Turning Red. It's a new story. It's not living off of an IP. And this is what this world relies on so much right now. The biggest thing I've heard people talk about recently when my missus was having a birthday party, and I think someone else brought it up, was, oh, are you ready for the new Matilda movie? I'm like,
fuck no. Have you seen who they've got playing Miss Honey?
Yeah, I put my...
no.
I had that opposition with someone the other day, and I was like, listen, I'm not saying that a black lady can't adopt a white kid. Spoiler to anyone who's not seen Matilda or read it. And I'm not saying a white woman can't adopt a black kid. I'm all for that. But in the same breath, there was something quite family. It sounds so petty, but I was just like, we're just reaching for a reason. Now, could we not have made Matilda black as well? Like, I'm not saying, again, it's not opposed to that, but I was like, we're just being inclusive for the fun of it here. Do you know what I mean? It just felt weird. It just feels weird reading it. I think the only thing that looked good is I think Emma Thompson looks like a good Miss Trunchbull. Apart from that, the whole
Emma Thompson is good in everything. Can we just
the whole setup of the film just feels weird.
Emma Thompson is good in everything. Miss Honey, and I'm not a fan of Matilda, but I like Miss Honey. She a honey, she's fine, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but some people will say the current one is as well.
Some people would be fucking wrong.
Listen, each to their own.
Each to their own. For me, she is Butters to the 9th, mate. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Lashana Lynch although I fucking hated what they did with her in No Time to Die, Lashana Lynch in that capacity where she's kind of a take no names badass. Sure.
Listen, she owned the role. She owned the role.
Lashana Lynch is Monica Rambeau. Sure. I'm down with her doing that. She works in that capacity. What I think about the movie is irrelevant. Is she good in that capacity? Most definitely. Lashana Lynch is this fucking homely kind of, lovey-dovey, airy-fairy teacher. Fuck no.
Yeah, she's kind of built her role already. She's kind of built the angle that she is, who she is, and what she does. She's got edge. She's got edge, and that's what it's meant to be. It's kind of in that Junior and Mr. Nanny type territory. It's like, this isn't your lane. You can act, you can deliver. This just isn't your lane.
Exactly that. Republic Productions has joined us again. Great to have you back, Republic Productions. Sorry, I've missed the last couple of streams. I was in the process of getting you internet. It was a mess.
Preach, brother, preach. That's all I can say.
Francis Lalonde? Yes. Mechagodzilla. AI, definitely. And Billy Mount, my problem with the Danny DeVito movie, I just saw it too late in life. I saw it for the first time this year and it did not work for me.
The thing about the movie, and a lot of it at one point became trolling, it's iconic. I've always given it a soft spot because I love the book. The book Matilda kicks the movie's ass. There were parts of the film that I was weak at points, but it was nice to see one of your books brought to life. So I know what you're saying. It's not the greatest of movies. And it came up a lot because I'm not going to lie, I started trolling after a while. But yeah, I know it's not. Have you read the book? You never read the book, did you?
No, which is a shame because I like Roald Dahl.
I think if you were to read the book, you would love the story.
Read it to my daughter.
Yeah, you would love the story. And you will say that the film has no right being as bad as it is when you got such great source material.
You can get Leia that as a Godfather present for Christmas, mate. There you
I'm
go.
more than happy to. More than happy to.
There you go. Read that in a few years.
Cool.
Yeah. Republic Production says my number one is Westworld. That's a TV show, not a movie. Remember, this is the
we are
movie
strictly
Mount
films.
Rushmore.
We are strictly films with this.
Movies.
Otherwise, Kit might have been on the list. Kit would have definitely been on the list.
In it, Night Rider, all about
all kinds of cool, man.
Billy Mount says, Nico, I would want a Woody's Roundup movie after Lightyear. Make that happen, Pixar. Love the idea.
Billy, I was thinking about that today when I was like, it was just on the day I'm figuring out what number goes where, and I was like thinking about socks, and I was like, that would be Woody's Roundup would be an awesome, like, just like the series or the building of the series, because we know it was a TV show, but it would be awesome to just see a story, a feature-length film of Woody's Roundup. You know, the same way Batman, the 1960s, had a TV movie. Like, here was the TV movie, the Woody's Roundup Christmas special or something would just be awesome to see.
I know exactly who I would want to play Woody as well, because I would go down the route of
the Chris
you
Evans,
know how,
not the original, the voice.
Exactly. I wouldn't want Tom Hanks doing it, because Tom Hanks very much fitted the cartoon emotional side of Woody. If you're going to do a Woody's Roundup, listen, I'm not advocating you go and make the fucking, the Quick and the Dead bloody Disney Pixar movie here. But I'd want Woody with a bit more gruff. So someone like Jeff Bridges, I think he'd be an awesome Woody.
You're giving it some real edge there.
There's a snake in my boots. You can...
Kiefer Sutherland or something.
Fuck yeah, Kiefer. No, but I can see Jeff Bridges doing a really good Woody. I'm just weird that way.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I like that.
Oh, but Republic Production says the 1973 movie Westworld. Fair play.
Well directed.
Makes me remember Billy says her is excellent, AJ. And Billy Mount with a pull him.
Was that her is excellent, AJ, or excellent AI?
AI, sorry. There you go.
I have heard
Billy Mount says, make Woody like a Lukey Luke.
Billy Mount.
Throwback.
Oh, that's a salute.
Well, they probably call it Lucky Luke in English, don't they?
They would, naturally.
Yeah. Lukey Luke. There's a throwback, man. Lukey Luke, and here's the other one. Do you remember Masupilame?
Yes.
Yeah.
But my top two, I have to be honest, were I had Papyrus as a set of books as well. I don't know how many people had that one, but it was Lucky Luke and Tintin. They were up there.
Tintin and Asterix and Obelix for me.
Oh yeah, Asterix. Yeah. I did actually read quite a lot of those. And Le Petit Nicolas, different because it wasn't animated, but those
bro, that was my book growing up. You know, Petit Nicolas was the shit.
Such fun stories that just never made it to TV or film.
I used to love reading, and then I did fucking English literature for my A level, and they shoved post-colonial literature down my throat. And honestly, I can pinpoint it to the moment where I completely fell out of love with reading. When you're making me read Monica Ali's Brick Lane, Zadie Smith's White Teeth, and Chinua Achebe's God of Small Things, I go, sit and spin. English literature.
Probably ethnic minorities.
Here's being fucked up now. Here's English literature. Chinua Achebe. Of course, the great English literary master, Chinua Achebe. Fuck off.
Listen, I used to enjoy reading, and I'm not even going to say it was the PlayStation or anything like that, because
that didn't help.
Listen, I've done so much. I would pick up a book. Sometimes I'd put down the Game Boy and pick up a book while traveling. I don't know what happened, but do you know one of the sad things for me, right? And I say it very ashamed, but also very proud of. To this day, I've not actually read an adult book. All my books are children based. Even in my 20s, I had the Cherub book collection, and that's what I'm I need to go back to. I bought the entire collection. There's fun in the adventures in that, but yeah, I know what you mean when you say it's just not been there. Maybe June. I might pick up June and read it. That looked like an interesting.
It's a heavy read. That's a slow read, bro. You thought Lord of the Rings was slow? Damn.
Oh,
great book though, June. Oh, you can answer this one for me. Republic Production says, also, Nico, you mentioned you like Daniel Day-Lewis, just a little, as an actor. Have you seen There Will Be Blood? AJ, what are my thoughts on Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood? blood.
He doesn't like Daniel Day-Lewis. He worships Daniel Day-Lewis. As far as Nico's concerned, this is the greatest actor that ever was.
Yes.
There Will Be Blood. I believe we watched it once and then it was revisited and Nico watched it again. And that rocked his world in terms of, and I mean, rightly so, it's a freaking awesome movie. And it's Day-Lewis on top form. It's Day-Lewis on top form and it just sticks out.
I genuinely believe Daniel Plainview is the single greatest acting performance of all time. Come at me.
Fair enough.
And you know who I felt terrible for there? Paul Dano. Because he was so good in it.
Yes. Oh my God, he gives it. He really brings it, man. He brings the heat in that film. He brings the heat in that film.
He always does, though. What was that movie we saw with Harvey Keitel and Michael Caine?
Youth. I'm sure it's Youth.
Youth. He was fucking great in that too. Look at him in The Batman. He was fucking great in that. Although I know those just annoyed you a bit, but
I just very good. Yeah. Again, it's not him though. It's the direction. Here we go. You've got someone as powerful as Paul Dano to play someone as quirky and as smart as the Riddler, and you've turned him into a terrorist. Now, I'm not here to knock the director's
sense to me.
No, but listen to what I'm saying here. The visual expressions you could have had without this guy looking like Phone Jacker for 95% of the movie, and the mind games. But you get what I'm going with, right? There was a lot. In a way, I'm not saying he was wasted, but he could have been used to the nth degree. Had you mastered, if portrayed in a different way.
Since we're on the topic of political incorrectness on this episode, have you watched the YouTube video Nigerian Phone Jacker?
Anyway, I was about to
It is fucking comedy gold.
And we talked where we talk about the Nigerian. Hello, I would need the bank account details.
Yeah. We take all the pennies and that you do not use, and we put them into a box and give them back to you. You could not say my name. It is. It's so fucking bad. It kills me.
I remember showing it to Zane once when we was talking about one, and it was you have a pigeon in your bank account. What the fuck? A pigeon in my bank account? Yeah, it's got in there and it's now causing problems, so we need all your bank account details.
So good.
It's stupid as fuck, but it's hilarious. It really is.
But bro, I get them all the time now. Like, there's a YouTube channel I watch called Scammer Payback. It's really good. It's this. I think he's half Polish, actually. That's not why I watch him. It just happens to be half Polish, and he basically fucks with the scammers. So you know those fake calls you get. You know those, and I don't mean fuck like waste their time. I mean, he installs malware on his computer, lets them in to try and steal his details, which are faked. And while they're stealing those details, he's installing a load of shit on their systems and deleting all their files so they can't attack senior citizens anymore. But then he's taking it a step further. Bro, it gets deep with them. He finds like the money mules for the people for when they do manage to steal money and it gets shipped off to India. He locates the buildings which these fuckers are working in and gets CCTV shots of them on the fucking floor in the building in the fucking postcode. Like he says, yeah, you are. You're sitting in the Aspral building in Bangalore in HA1, and you're on floor 14, and you're sitting in booth 3. And he's like, how do you know that? It's like, fuck you. Return the money. He goes hard, bro. I love him. Scammer Payback. Big shout out to him. Listen, he doesn't need a shout out for me. He's got millions of YouTube followers, but like he's a G. He's a G.
There's one story I always like, which was what about this guy who asked for like money for a camera or something, and the guy was like, "Okay, whatever, I'll send you a camera." He's like a photographer or something, and he was like, "All right, let me try it on this camera. Take the piss. Send him a camera." And long story short, the guy was actually genuine. I know it's one of those rare gems of these, please send me money emails, but it's a really sweet story. I'll try and find it and like share a link one day for you guys. But he actually taught the guy how to take pictures, and they've actually like built a photo collection of the town and used the money to sell that photo book to like build schools for that area. So it's a really nice story on a positive side. But yes, these scammers, don't fall for it, guys. Based on that one story AJ's telling you, they're a bunch of bastards who deserve to be shut down. But
No, they are. They are. And can I tell you, in all honesty, like, I really encourage you to watch Scammer Payback, because what he does actually is very informative. And Francis Lond, I'm putting a link to him in there for you right now. But like because they're getting savvy, these fuckers, you know, like their scams are getting. Yes, you need to be a bit switched on, and they easily target the elderly, but bro, there's one or two of them which nearly made me click the link, and I was like, what do we know about clicking links from strange numbers? But you know, the way that they've got the number appearing now, they know how to fake Royal Mail, for instance, and it's like, oh, you cheeky motherfuckers, you.
Capital I and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like shit that you don't catch because your brain is just tuned into seeing Royal Mail. It's like, oh, okay, click. Oh, fuck, you know, they haven't got me yet, but the fuckers are getting savvy, really savvy.
I remember a tax return, and this one was the closest one they got me. It looked just like HM Revenue, and it was like, you're owed some money, and I was like, fuck, I need to submit it, right? And I remember being like a day off, and I was like, shit, I need to send. Like, I had a day left, I need to send it, and my brother goes, careful. His friend got scammed off of an email like that. And I was like, you fucking assholes, you like really had me, you know. It's the small bits they get you on. All you have to do is just order something from Amazon, expect a delivery, and just see a fake DPD, you know, a fake Royal Mail. You're like, oh, well, okay, maybe they sent it that way. Like they're bastards, man. They're real bastards.
And they are really getting savvy. So yeah, and Francis, go fuck yourself asking for my password. Love you, bro.
I love that, Francis. I have to say this on a weekend basis, right? You find a way to make me laugh. Your timing is impeccable with replies. They are impeccable. Honestly, salute to you. Second salute of the
Buy me a coffee / Francis Lalonde does comedy.
Yeah, exactly. Jokes by Francis. Yeah.
Jokes by Francis. Oh, Republic Productions. You must see There Will Be Blood, by the way. But yeah, back to this. AJ, what is your number 6?
The one you kept pushing me to watch, and I never did. And I was like, I saw the beginning, and I don't think it's going to be something. Then I saw him, and I'm like, I love this little dude, Wall-E.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Wall-E is. Do you know it's really funny?
How can you not love him?
Do you know what it is as well? And honestly, if you watch the first episode of Love, Death, Robots, right? It's very similar to Wall-E. Like, if I could have remembered one of the characters' names, imagine just having like 3 different characters who talk together but give you that Wall-E experience. It's the whole, what are we doing to our Earth? And this is what Wall-E has done to me. Every now and again, I sit back and I enjoy life, and I think, this is what Wall-E is warning me about. And that's what bugs me. You know, even now I'm talking to the missus. Yeah. Even now I'm talking to the missus now. Don't get me wrong, a lot of shit happens with work and what have you. And I remember there's another friend at work who was saying her partner got a bit upset with her because you're always looking at your phone for work. And it's the mentality that we're in. I'm talking to the missus recently, and we're talking about, we've never got time to go shopping, especially with like the hours I'm doing. I'm like, but this is why I say online shopping. And it's like, do you know those little rabbit holes? Today at work, there's a few bits I need to order. Like, I don't have time to get it. I've still got the pod to do tonight, and then I don't want to get up extra early. I know. I'll prime it to work. It's these small little bits that feel like nothing.
But okay, so I see where you're coming from.
They're benefits, but it's. Do you know how you've become too? Put it this way:
we've all become over-reliant on technology.
Yeah, but it's do not make it the like. Think of it: food shopping. Why should you not enjoy the aisles? Why should it just be online? And it's those little bits that we're of a generation that's familiar with both. The next generation, touch wood, because I don't want this for later, that becomes the only way of looking at it. The same way a kid doesn't know what a landline is. It's all become a mobile. Everything's available within the palm of your hand. And it's that just says, be careful. You know, you look at the captain of that ship, without getting into spoilers, didn't even know what agriculture was. You know, the lessons in that movie were quite impressive.
Superb. To your point, I think with Wally, one of the undercurrent messages is, which is kind of perfectly in line with what you've said or partly said, is balance.
Yeah.
Because Wally himself is technology, and and mankind needed technology in order to survive the fuck ups that they'd made, you know.
Yeah.
But where they took the technology to was the step that was too far. You know, it's very easy to just say, yeah, we've become over-reliant on technology. Sure, no doubt. But there is a nuance to it. There is definitely a nuance to it. In the world we live in now, right or wrong, is there room and should there be room for both supermarket shopping and online shopping? Most definitely. Who the fuck wants an hour and a half waiting to talk to your bank teller or going to queue on your lunch break at a Barclays? I'm sorry, fuck off.
Preach.
I'm sorry, technology for the win on that one. And it's very good that the banks acknowledge that if anything goes wrong, you're covered fully.
Yeah.
So it's literally there for me. That is like no risk, because it's like, you fuck up, you are giving me my money back. Now, if I fuck up, it's a different story.
Yeah.
So there are things where I'm so happy we've moved to where we have. Dating, that is blaspheme what has happened. The fact that, listen, I'm not advocating that I could get away with what I did 20 years ago, where I could go up to a girl in the bar, give her a slap on the tush and go, hey, how you doing, in a fucking Joey accent, and actually think I'm going to get a number out of it. That shit worked, bro. That shit worked a charm 20 years ago. That was my game plan. Slap on the tush. How you doing? Hey, you like Friends? I like Friends. Cool. Can I get you a drink? You like Joey? Actually, I like Chandler. Why'd you say, hey, how you doing? I don't know, because most people like Joey. I do like Joey. He's actually my favorite. You see, Chandler and Joey are best friends, but we could take it further than that. Bro, I had my shit on lockdown. I like that.
I like that. By the way, Ross is the best character. We won't go any further.
The fuck, Ross?
No,
Ross. Fuck Ross. Ross is a puss, mate.
Listen,
Pussy.
As it builds up, it's a bit like The Simpsons. The Simpsons started off as Bart. It transitioned into Homer. Ross started off with Joey and Chandler. It transitions into Ross. Ross
shouldn't have transitioned.
Huh?
Ross is a pussy, mate.
Hit that. That's all I'm gonna say.
Pussy.
Leave it, man. Ross for the win.
Ross is a bitch, mate. Although I have to say, they were on a break.
Oh yeah. More and more.
Fuck anyone who says otherwise.
They were on a break.
But yeah, and as Republic Production says, you try that now, you'll be getting a number out of that in your mugshot. Exactly. Yeah, so do I advocate that I should still be allowed to go up to married man, by the way? So not doing this at all anyway. But
had I been single. Yeah.
Had I been single, I do not advocate the slapping of women on the tushy and saying, hey, how you doing? I mean, I've heard that people don't even like Friends anymore, so the line wouldn't work no matter what. But should you be able to, without being a douchebag, and God forbid, I'm not going to drop his name here, but I have a friend, lives in Barcelona, really fancies himself as a ladies' man. It's not Florian, don't worry.
I was just going to say, do I know him?
It's not Flo. It's not Flo. You may know him, but it's not Flo. I've been out a little bit in clubs with him, you know, being the wingman, because frankly, there is no better wingman than a man in a committed relationship, because you'll say what the fuck you want, knowing that you're not trying anything. So you come off as incredibly charming and help your bro out. Best wingmen in the world are men who are taken. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. Right? Fact. But I saw him saying some outlandish shit to women. And this is like in the last year. And I'm like, bruh, what the fuck? Like, you know, the one that really stuck with me, and I was like, the kid in me is laughing, and only just, and I mean the 8-year-old kid's like the adult in me is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know, he was trying to get this girl to come back with him, and she's like, no, I'm really hungry. I'm just gonna go with my friends to grab a bite too. He's like, you're hungry? I've got some sausage for you right here. I was like, bruv, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? So
it's at this point, as wingman, you go, so everything I said, I take back. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.
Correct. Exactly that. We're playing. Have you met him? Nope. Forget him. One of the dickheads that women talk about sometimes. You can't defend that shit. It's like, bruv, if I'm here to help you, wingman, help me, help you. Shout out to Jerry. Fucking show me the money. You know what I mean? Like, help me help you. So you don't slap women on the tushy. You do not talk inappropriately to women. All of these things I advocate. However, what I also advocate is men, or anyone for that matter, having the fucking liberal right, without slapping of the tushy, without saying douchebag sentences, is to just be able to go up to someone and say, hi, lovely to meet you. My name's X. Can I buy you a drink? If it's no, move on. No harm, no foul. You are literally where you were 10 seconds ago, which is single as fuck. And if she says yes, get the girl a drink. Don't act like a cocky cunt and just see what happens. She may be one of those fucking freeloading bitches who just wants a free drink. They exist.
Yeah.
But equally, she could turn out to be the future Mrs. X. Or she may just be a one-night stand. 2 out of 3 of those options are very nice options. But we live in a world, realistically, where you can't even approach a fucking woman anymore without someone going, #MeToo. It's like, motherfucker, am I glad I'm married? Because I'd be fucked in this game.
Things you said to me, and I thought it was one of the most ridiculous things. And again, I think you were going on the online dating, but we're just talking the world, because guess what? We're grumpy old men now. It's who we are. It's just, I've got to accept it, right? One of the ones that you told me that ticked me off infinitely was you holding the door open for a lady and being told that's chauvinistic. How dare you? Now, manners lead that I've held the door open for men. So where the fuck she was getting off, I don't know. I've just said, here's the door. When you told me that one, I was livid.
She trapped me too. She was like, and she was just like, do you think you're being gallant? I was like, yeah, sure, if we can go that way. And then she flipped the script on me. She was like, you know, gallantry is what the knights used to do to rescue damsels in distress. I'm like, do you want fuck you? I'll walk through the door. Like, fuck this.
Some of the scenarios of life, mate. Some of the scenarios of life.
Bro, it's fucked. It's fucked. Real talk. This is one of the things where technology has fucked us. The dating game now is a joke. To quote the great monologue from Trainspotting 2, human interaction reduced to nothing more than data. That I'm not about. But doing my online banking and my shopping, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So with Wally, just pay attention, check the balance, don't become over reliant.
Andy Hart's here, AJ.
Hey, Andy, how we doing?
Good evening, gents. Just driving home from watching Casablanca at the cinema. Amazing as ever. I was catching up on last week's pod. As you gave me a shout out, thought it would be rude to not check in and tell you I'm still here, just easier to listen to the pod most of the time. And AJ, love that you got the Highlander quote wrong for the first time in 2 years on the Scottish episode.
The pain. I didn't even realize I got it wrong.
On the Scottish episode.
Thank you, Andy.
I think you got it wrong on this week's episode too, by the way, but Andy can correct me on that.
In the end, there could be only one.
And that's not what you said today.
Probably not. Only be one, right? Oh, for God.
Yeah.
Andy, this is why we need you. Get me.
Andy Hart says, worst wingman ever. I have a gay friend. Women are all over him and don't notice me, the straight friend. Ha!
I've seen that happen too many times. It's really unfair, Andy. It's a toughie. It's a toughie, that one. That is a tough one.
Gay men are not the best wingmen. Married men are the best wingmen. Or men in a serious committed relationship. Don't even need to be married. Don't even need to be engaged. Just know that they're not going to go and do shit. They're just going to chat the fucking game. Those are the best.
They're here to pick you up and nothing more. Like, you think I'm cool? Have you met my boy? Yeah.
Have you met Ted? Right?
Yeah.
That was your 6, yes?
Yep.
Cool. My number 7. There are no strings on me. Ultron.
Minor punt.
My number 6, we've spoken about Arnold already. I'm bringing him back into Terminator, the first movie.
Fine.
I imagine that's not on your list because you don't really like Terminator 1.
No. So I need to revisit it. But in a more interesting... we'll leave it there. No, it's not on my list. We'll leave it there.
Terminator 1 is the best Terminator movie. I said it. The characters are better written. The story progress is so good that every single movie following it, including T2, literally copied the blueprint of Terminator 1.
that I can agree with.
Like, everything's there. I also don't like having watched Terminator 1 and appreciated it so much now. What the fuck happened to Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2? I like the way she goes from being this kind of reluctant hero / kind of a damsel in distress, but also kind of not, to like, I am a badass. It's like, fuck off. No, you're not. I saw the first movie. What is this? What, we did some fucking pull-ups in an asylum and now we're a badass? Fuck you.
No, but the logic is, okay, she was damsel in distress, for better or worse. She saw what they're about, and to know that your son is the savior that we require, you need to take that extra edge. You need to be like, I've seen what they can do. It's make or break out here. And that's the way I've angled it. I mean, appreciated. I know that I saw it first as her being badass mama. So maybe even that killed me. Seeing the first one, I'm like, she was running from that machine. Now she's ready to shoot that bitch. Like, maybe that triggered me as well, seeing it in reverse. But I think it's plausible. I think it is plausible knowing that you've got to be ready for the machines at any given time.
Francis Lalonde says this perfectly. T2 is more fun than T1, but otherwise the story does seem better in T1. Pedro Santos agree that Terminator 1 is the best, yet T2 is one of the best sequels ever. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt there. And Andy Hart says, yes. I have been saying for years, The Terminator is the best movie. It is. It just is. And Billy Mount then goes on to say, Nico and AJ, you know that Arnold was originally supposed to play Kyle Reese and Lance Henriksen was supposed to play the T-800. Those would have been awesome. Yeah. Sure, it's very hard for me to see anyone other than Arnie as the Terminator now.
And I suppose the acting leaned better for him to play the Terminator, respectfully.
Come on, Francis. Lance Henriksen. He's the AI from Aliens, the second Alien movie. Come on, you must know Lance Henriksen. He's awesome. But yeah, man, look, Terminator 1 needs no introduction. It's one of the all-time fucking great sci-fi movies. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say it is Arnold's most iconic role.
Yeah, 100%.
It has to be. More than Predator, more than True Lies, definitely, right?
The Terminator is that character.
Yeah. So it's Arnold's biggest role. It's what, made the megastar.
Well, not brought him to the party, but yeah, kept him in the party.
It made the megastar out of him, and I love the fact that the first one is still kind of a horror movie. The second one, it leans very heavily on the action, and of course, the effects are incredible. But T1 for the win, brother.
Okay, the T-800, interesting.
You're number 5.
You know what? This is a bit of a reach because it is more TV series than film, but he does appear in films.
Well, we get to argue.
No. He's in the films. There's no denying it. You can't really argue because you don't watch them. From the world of Star Trek. Brent Spiner as Data. Commander Data. Now, the reason this character to me is AI works is he owned playing a robot. Like, it's not that he's a shit actor. Like, people be like, hey, as I just made the joke about Arnie as a Terminator, it didn't require much acting. Just walk like a robot. Keanu Reeves. Whoa. You know what I mean? This one is different. The way he owned playing a robot and an AI, the first robot on deck, on the bridge, essentially, was really interesting. So much so that I remember as a kid hearing adults go, have they actually got a robot doing that? Like, it became so intrinsic. It's AI at its finest. It's an actual crew member being able to interact with characters throughout. Now, if I'm going to lean for a film, I'm going to go for Generations, where they actually put a chip into Data and he actually was able to get emotion. And it was really funny because you've got this robot who's always been very straight-laced in the same way that you would a Sheldon Cooper, for instance, who misses many of the jokes along the way. Yeah. And it was just this moment where he's going slightly out of control because, like, if you had... I'm going to do it for Big Bang because it's someone you can relate to. You got Lennon and Sheldon? You have Data and Geordie, who are really close. Like, Geordie is the engineer who was really close to this lieutenant on bridge. And he just starts laughing. And he's like, Data, what's so funny? That joke you said, and it's like something from 5 years ago, but it just shows how the memory of an AI retains absolutely everything. And once you put that emotion chip in it and what it created, it was just something that was so special. And it was actually nice to see in a bit of a Pinocchio moment, like the boy who came to life, if you would, and that's something that was really cool for Data as well. But as far as AI goes, one of the most iconic to me anyway, and deserves a mention is Lieutenant Data.
Nothing to add, as you know.
There's not a damn word you can mention to it. Unfortunately for you, he's not Borg, so no, you can't make your regular joke. But yeah, that needs to be mentioned. And the way he owned it as a robot that looked, for people, to quote The Undertaker, when people used to ask The Undertaker, "Are you really dead?" The same way for this one, he was a robot with lifelike beings, not in a sort of Terminator-esque way, but it was the way the makeup was that everything had people saying, "That robot's really lifelike, isn't it?" Yeah, it's a man playing a robot. He really owned it.
Of all the things that kind of make up zeitgeist pop culture nerddom, Star Trek is the one. Star Trek and Doctor Who, but Star Trek is the big one. Star Trek is the one huge thing which I have got a massive blind spot in. I'm the fucker who says I like the JJ movies, and Star Trek fans look at me like, "You like those things?" I'm like, yeah, it's fucking fun, man. Like, and they look at me like, okay. Zachary Quinto over fucking Live Long and Prosper. How about Live Long and Suck It, Leonard Nimoy for the win? I'm like, I don't. Okay, but there's so much vitriol with Star Trek that it kind of makes me think I need to get around to watching it one day.
It's really weird, and I'll tell you this to you now. So during lockdown, being with my family, I've seen my dad go from Star Trek all the way to whatever Netflix have got now. Like, it was episodes and this, that, and the other.
Netflix, brother. Amazon are on season 3 of Picard now.
Voyager, I remember loving the end, but it was an in and out relationship. I personally would say it's weird because if you get it, you'll get all of it. I think Star Trek might be too dated. The Next Generation, I thought, was amazing. Like, honestly, if there was one that I would lean to, it was that one. I know most people would probably be Kirk over Picard, but I think Patrick Stewart and everyone in there, like the Klingons. I think the Klingons.
I think most people are Picard over Kirk, bro.
Really? It's a weird one.
Do you see them doing a Kirk show?
No, but
there you go. They're doing Picard.
Come off it. Picard owned it. Yeah, but you can't bring out a Kirk show with someone going, "I just don't have the power." You'd be like, where the fuck does that fit in 2015? In 2022?
Will Shatner.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like trying to say we're trying to do a Batman movie based off of Adam West. You'd be like, there's no place for that anymore.
I'd watch the shit out of that Stone.
I'm sure you would. But this is the thing, and it's that angle. You can't really get Shatner. A Kirk episode, I think, but I believe that some of the characters were so much more developed. Like the Klingons being the ultimate villains of Star Trek in itself. Michael's on Commander Worf. The way they're displayed, they look more warrior and fierce in Next Generation than they do anywhere.
How many seasons is Picard in for?
What, of Next Generation?
Oh, is it like runs? Is that how it works?
So you've got Star Trek, which was the original one. Then you got when that finished, you had Star Trek: The Next Generation, and he was the captain of that entire series.
And how many are there?
Good question.
Is it like Next Generation season 1, 2, 3, 4, that type of thing?
Yeah. It was many.
And then after Next Generation, it's what, Deep Space Nine?
Deep Space Nine. I wasn't the biggest fan of Deep Space Nine, but it does follow on.
Is that when they bring in the female captain?
No, that's Voyager. That's the one after that.
And who's Deep Space Nine's captain? Is it Picard?
No, Deep Space Nine is Captain Janeway. That's the female captain. Each one, it just moves on. They're like years apart. Deep Space Nine and Next Generation were similar in time span.
Who's Next Generation's captain?
Come again? Next Generation is Picard. Patrick Stewart.
So you got Star Trek, which is Shatner. I'm fucking being schooled here. This is fantastic.
Star Trek is Shatner.
Next Generation, which is Picard. Then you've got
Picard.
Deep Space Nine,
which is Benjamin Sisko, Black Captain, bald guy.
Cisco.
Nothing to do with the Fog Song guy. Way before him. Well, technically.
We're going straight to the Deep Space Nine.
You can imagine it. Will Smith just there in the background. Stan! Yeah, it would be weird.
Freaking deep space. Freaking deep space.
Then you got, so that was Deep Space Nine. Then you've got Voyager, which is Janeway. Then they go back to before Captain Kirk, and that was Enterprise, and that's Scott Beluga, but I'm not too sure what I can't remember what his captain's name is. But they have a hot Romulan. Fucking hell, she's hot. But yeah.
Hot Romulan, AJ, like Captain Kirk, you like the green muff.
Thank you, Borat. No, but yeah, she was something. But no, they're worth watching, and I think if you could appreciate Next Generation, you might be able to go back. But I think if you do Star Trek #1, like the first series,
it'll feel aged.
It just feels so aged. But for context, you might do it. But I would.
You need it for context, and you need listen, bro. Fucking how many movies have we watched that we've said it feels old, but you know,
yeah.
It's a huge part. It's a huge part of geek pop culture that I do think I've got to write at one point. Maybe when Leia's moved out. Because Lord knows I ain't going to have time for the next 18 years, but shit.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Republic Production says we're making YouTube history here. Nico and Republic didn't radically disagree on something, but rather agreed 100%. T1 better than T2.
There we go. So, in essence, bro, just to go into it, just because I checked, Star Trek, the original, only had 3 seasons.
How many episodes per season? How long each episode? Because if it's like 30 episodes an hour long each, fuck off.
29, 26, 24.
How long is each episode?
I think they were an hour. I know the Next Generation were an hour. I don't know so much about it.
Yo, no, forget that. Fuck that.
79 episodes, bro. That's not going to kill you.
79 hours, brother. Do you know how much I can get done in that time? Are you insane?
Background TV.
Nah, I don't. That's not how I consume, bro.
Fair enough. Okay, guys. So, yeah, that was Commander Data at number 5. Sorry. Bit of a tangent. Bit of a Star Trek education there for you.
There you go. Andy Hart says, a recommendation for you that probably hasn't made the list. The 13th Floor, direct-to-video movie from 1999 that got lost in the buzz of The Matrix. Well worth a watch if you can find it. I have heard of it.
13th Floor. I shall add that.
Mixed Memorabilia says, guys, can I give a shout out to the coming together of Dolph Lundgren and Van Damme and Universal Soldier and get your thoughts on that film? That's AJ.
Can I be honest? I've not really seen.
Nor me. Never watched Universal Soldier.
I've seen parts of them, and I remember getting like excited at the time. Like Goldberg was one of them, but I've never seen an entire Universal Soldier. Wow.
Word 789 has joined us. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, I just joined. Was AI mentioned with Joel Harvey? Haley Joel
Osment.
Haley Joel Osment. No, we haven't got there. If we're getting there. Billy Mount says, Nico, I even love Galaxy Quest. Fuck yeah, Galaxy Quest is great. Pedro Sancto says, JJ Star Trek better than JJ Star Wars.
As a Force Awakens guy, it's kind of hard.
I was gonna say, I don't know if there's a movie in Star Trek as good as The Force Awakens. I love that film.
And sorry, just for the banter. Thank you, JJ. Sorry.
Oh dear. Yeah, lots of Star Trek chat here. So yes, I think I'll skip all that.
But are they telling you to give it a shot?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, good.
And Republic Production says, you guys enjoying the World Cup? A lot?
It's weird. It's on the TV at work. And what I love is when I'm passing by, because I'm literally just shooting past TV, it's some of the goals and results that I'm seeing along the way. I'm like, who's winning? You what? And that's what I'm loving.
Oh, it's the World Cup of shocks, brother.
Yeah, like what I love about this World Cup and the previous World Cup, it feels very bizarro land. Like anyone could do anything. And I love it. You know? And that's
you saw Spain got knocked out for the second World Cup in a row in the last 16 again. Last time we were sitting in Dewsbury Road my old house, and Spain-Russia was on in the background, and we've got it on. Gavin Mann, if he were here, would be able to tell us which episode it was on, probably. I was checking my phone, and like, Spain have just been knocked out of 2018 World Cup by Russia. Okay? Spain have been knocked out of the 2022 World Cup by Morocco.
I know. I was watching. Well, watching.
The fuck?
Weird as fuck, right? Weird as fuck.
Power to them. Japan finished top of a group that had Spain and Germany in it. That's fucking quite now, Japan.
Yeah. And I remember that game starting, right? And this is when I said, Ant, shut the fuck up. That game was started at work. It was the first one we really put the TV on for because we're playing it for people to watch in the restaurant and stuff. And I went, this should be maybe 2-0, maybe 3. And I remember one of our waiters went, no, you'd be surprised. Japan could put a fight in. I was like, yeah, but 2-3-0. Yeah, right. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Back to movies.
Indeed.
In at number 5 for me, I went with this one primarily because I love the design of it. It's not, the AI isn't in the movie for long, although the movie we've talked about ad nauseum and is a stellar movie. I'm bringing in Interstellar, and I want to talk, I don't have an image for him, annoyingly, but I want to talk about TARS. If you remember the water planet, which they went to, TARS starts as what looks like kind of just an AI control deck in their ship. Then when they land on the water planet, the thing goes vertical and starts to fucking walk. And there was something so beautiful in the simplicity of TARS, because it's essentially just like kind of a stretch Rubik's Cube, isn't it? And then it walks.
Yeah.
And then when they get injured, it has arms and it can carry them and do like spinny wheel leg movements to move faster. And I'm like, hang on. The physics of this all make sense. There is a wealth of intelligence on display with this AI. And I love the design of it. Genuinely wish it was in it for longer.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Just because of how unique looking the design of TARS was.
It's cool AI, and like to give it a bit of a spin. That's a good chat, bro.
Right? I liked it. I really liked it. So that was my number 5. Your 4.
In at number 4 for me was the punt from earlier. Ultron.
There are.
We had the same image.
I'm so glad you have come. Now, I know Republic Productions isn't a fan of Marvel and the Avengers and has already showed their disdain at this movie. That's fine. We won't stay on it long. But I'm so glad you, like so many other Marvel fans, are starting to see what I've seen since day dot, which is how good this movie is.
If you're a Marvel fan. Do you know what it is? It's that Ultron should have been dare I say Ultron should have been Iron Man 3. Right? It was worthy of being an Avengers movie, but it didn't have the same build up to as Avengers 1. And that's why it's always been a very difficult watch for people. I think the expectation of what you expect from an Avengers movie it was weird in the way it's built. And you need to
felt pretty fucking world ending and cataclysmic to me, brother.
Do you know what the problem with it? And we've said it before. Phase 2 was the thinking phase. You need to sit back and think and listen and pay attention. And like when I was going for it at first, I was like Jarvis, then I was like, oh God, what's his name? Vision. But I was like, no. The real winner of this, the real winner in AI is Ultron. The one who absorbed
the process I went through.
Everything that the world had to offer, studied what was there, and made his own assumptions based on it. The creators that he had, he was like, no, these parents of mine are not the heroes. There's a different, no pun intended, there's a different vision here. There's a different thought process. This is the way the world should be. And it was that, and it's the evolution. Each time Ultron is destroyed, Ultron finds a way to evolve. And that is when I was like, okay, no. I get it. I didn't have Ultron, I'm not going to lie, it took me maybe 3 to 4 watches to appreciate it.
I know.
It took me 3 to 4 watches to appreciate it. But it makes sense. Ultron is the AI of the MCU. With all the love and respect to Vision, Even the lady inside Spidey's costume. Like, there's a lot of AI to appreciate. But what Ultron delivered was something.
Oh, sensational. And that voice that James Spade brought to the party. Fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, when we were growing up and talking about comic books, the two of us, I always pulled Venom because, like, let's be real, every time I brought an obtuse character to the party, I'd get eyebrow raises in my direction. Like, who the fuck is Doctor Strange? I'm like, y'all don't know. Ultron has always been my favorite Marvel villain, mate. Always. So to see him done semi right on screen. The one thing which they fluffed with him, which I can't quite figure out why they did, his upgrades were not obvious enough. Like when he upgraded in the comics, it's a completely different robot.
But was that over a spread of many comics?
Yes.
You see, maybe Ultron needed to be in a series so you could appreciate that by the end of this series or what have you, it builds more. Here, you're just seeing him like it. Just you could just see he's escaping.
Well, he goes through 4 phases. Five if you count the first fucked up one that you see. But he goes through 5 evolutions. Essentially, there are 10 in total. But he goes through 5 evolutions, and they're very, very samey.
But do you know the sad thing about it? It's a bit like Iron Man. Sorry, I just knocked my screen there. It's a bit like Iron Man. Yeah. Short of, it sounds so pathetic, but it's real. Do you remember when we went to that Marvel exhibition and you're in the Iron Armory and you pay attention to all the different ones? And you're like, that's Mark II, that's Mark III. To a lot of people, short of it becoming like people don't appreciate the evolution of Iron Man's costumes throughout the MCU. Apart from, right, now he just stretches his hand and takes over his body. You know, you don't appreciate the different marks of the Iron Man costume. And I think if you can't spot that, there was no way you're going to catch all of Ultron's evolutions in one film. You know,
look, the point I'm making is that they did. For me, as a Super Ultron fan, I didn't catch his evolutions the first time until the second viewing. They didn't make it clear enough how, like, bro, when I'm talking the difference between Ultron 1 to 5 in the comics, it's radically different. Like different shoulder shape, different color, like radically different mouth, different. Everything is different. He has evolved. And this just looked like, oh, he's got more parts.
Do you know what it needed? It needed a throwaway line. The first time he went from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2, whichever way he marks up, he's getting stronger or he's evolved. That simple line, like, oh shit. So it's not just like more body armor, he's evolving. It just, because otherwise you just see it like he looks different. But it's subconscious. That one line would make you think, how strong does he get? Just that one throwaway line would have just changed the world and had people going, oh shit, no, he has changed. Oh fuck, it's weird to say about a robot, but he's buffing up. Do you know that weird part that would have people going, oh my god, this robot's actually, oh my god, where does it stop? How big does he get? You know? Does he turn into a transformer? Like, yeah, that sounds ridiculous. But you know what I mean?
Well, bro, Ultron got so powerful. Ultron Sigma specifically got so powerful in the comics. They had to call Thanos in to help them stop him. That's how strong he got. Like when I say he was an ender of worlds, like he was nuts powerful.
Okay, we go.
Like insane powerful. Billy Mount, to your question, I really hope they bring Ultron back for future MCU movies. The culmination of Phase 6's Secret Wars, Ultron's in that, so he'll be back. Don't you worry. He will be back. But yeah, moving on from Ultron, AJ. So that was your 4, yes?
Yeah.
My 4, knowing you were going to say punt here. Agent Smith from The Matrix.
I'm gonna punt it because there's. It needs to be punted. Put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Your number 3 then, please.
So from the world of Terminator, it wasn't the T800, it's the T1000, and that's image.
I saw it.
Yeah, I love that, and I thought it summarized exactly what I needed to show why. Because my instant would have been going back to whoever it is. I do apologize. I can't remember who said it. T2 for the win. That was like my initial thing. Like, if you're gonna,
no one said that.
If you're going to ask me for it was a comment, bro. It's not. I'm literally saying what someone said. They were like, "That's my number 1." Like, I can't scroll all the way back up, but that's what they said. Right now.
Oh, Cole Warner reviews.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, you're
I'm
quite
just
right. I'll shut up.
right. And it wasn't going to be my number one because my number two was nearly my number one for the longest while until I got a bit technical as to why my number one is my number one. But the T1000, the upgrade from the monster that is the T800 from what you see in Terminator 1 or the Terminator, that liquid metal transition, the ability to morph into what have you, the way it has been replicated from that film to every Terminator movie as the kind of go-to of the power that these have. Like, there's not been a real. I think Terminator.
But it hasn't been the go-to. It's been in 3 of the 7 movies.
What, liquid transformation and
Yeah.
morphing.
Yeah.
Like that power, the only other power that they've gone to on top of that, obviously the T800 Arnie always comes back. But what I'm saying is, short of T3, where I think it was able to control other electronics or what have you, like it controlled the car or some shit like that, Terminator's not really evolved much more than the Terminator 2. It feels very like, as you said, the blueprint has been set from number 1. The villain was set, as far as I'm concerned, in T2. Because the villain became the hero from T1 to T2 in terms of branding and shape or what have you. That blueprint of the villain has remained the same onwards. And that's what made me think it's quite an impressive villain. And obviously, the way Robert Patrick became that villain, the menacingness behind it, that iconic run chasing the car, the way the sword would go through the elevator when they've gone to rescue Sarah.
Yeah, sure. It's
some
fun.
golden moments. The liquid freezing and the way he builds himself up, so many great moments is what made me appreciate this one just a tad more than the original.
Word 789, your comments perfect. They are literally Freezer style transformations for Ultron in the comics.
Yeah.
Billy Mount says, I haven't seen a single Matrix movie and I thought Agent Smith was a normal guy. Okay, treat yourself.
Fun. Actually, something's just reminded me of something. I had a worse, and I've now. Sorry, yeah, continue.
Billy Mount then says, only seen bits of the recent one though. Forget it. It's fine. It's fine to shit, but like, just watch Matrix 1. Pedro Sancto says, I'm confused as you two are doing a top 10 of AI characters, and I thought it was movies. No, movies with artificial intelligence. So we're on point. Billy Mount says, AJ and Nico, what about the sexy TX? Yes, me like it.
Yeah. Listen, in that sense, it was a winner, but based off of the T1000, that's my
Mixed Memorability says, are we putting the Predator in there, or even the Predator from Prey? Side note, love Prey, fucking great film. But
no,
Predator's not an AI.
There we go. 100%.
Has AI tech, but I wouldn't say the Predator is an AI.
No, that's exactly what I would say. Like 1,000,000%. It's like, I'll be honest, and I'm thankful no one has questioned it as yet, and I know it would wind you up more than it would wind me up. No, Transformers are a race. They're not AI, like that's the thing. It's the Predator is a race as far as it's an alien race.
We are cybernetic beings from the planet Cybertron.
Yeah, exactly that.
Not AIs. My number 3, AJ, I'm going to one of my favorite sci-fi movies here. Let's go with Ridley Scott's Alien, and I'm talking about Ash. Quite a gruesome photo, yes.
Oh, so bear with me 1 second. I'm just picking my worst. Ooh.
Yeah. For Pod Squad, this is the scene where Ash has been sliced in two. But it's fine. It's YouTube compliant because he's an AI, not a person.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought this character was fucking brilliant. Played by the late, great Ian Holm, R.I.P. He is responsible for one of the all-time great movie betrayals. Like when you just see that message flash up on the Weyland-Yutani screen and it just says crew expendable. It's like, oh, he's the villain. Oh, fuck. Did not see that coming. And you don't realize he's an AI until that he's been, sliced in two and starts being like, it's like,
yeah,
he's a fucking robot. Like, fuck. Like, shit.
Yeah.
No, it's such a great surprise, such a fucking great reveal, brilliant villain. Because you don't realize he's a villain, which is what makes him so good. Yeah. Alien, what a film. Ash, what a villain, what an AI. Love it. Love it. I have a feeling we've probably got Some love for that. Gavin Mann is here.
Hey,
Hello,
Gavin.
Gavin has managed to join us. I'm very happy about this. And Gavin Mann says, much like Arnie, I told you I'll be back.
I was going to say.
Or what's left of it.
Yeah, even to you too. We did start late, Gavin, so you got more of it than you probably would have.
Yes. Den the Tech's also in the house.
Den.
Francis Lawrence says, I prefer Bishop over Ash myself. Bishop's allegiance seems more ambiguous, while Ash wasn't thought to have allegiances. Ash definitely had allegiances, and it was to the Weyland-Yutani Corporation for sure.
Sorry, I'm just sorting out charge.
Mixed Memorabilia says, I agree with Pedro's comment. You guys are discussing the character. I also thought it's movie specific, as that's the title. Well, movies with artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah, you'd have to highlight the artificial intelligence. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think that.
I think we're doing fine.
But apologies if it feels misleading.
You're number 2.
Right, in at number 2, film you recommended to me and was number 1 for the longest while. Then I'm going on a technicality as to why my number 1. But if not, she is the clear winner. Ava Ex Machina.
Oh, very interesting. That's my number 2 as well.
What a movie.
Huh!
What a movie.
What a fucking movie.
What a movie. Now, if we're talking about a man who's been invited to one of the greatest inventors' houses in their age, in their time, in their world, and it's to study and discuss electronics, to discuss AI and what AI is capable of and what it can do and review it. This is what if you're going to talk AI, you can't not bring up this film. And it's the questionable moments. It's this is what AI can do. It's the taking over. It's the communications, the hidden agendas, and the dreams of AI. Can AI dream? What separates a machine from life?
You're spoiling my number 1.
I have a feeling I know what your number 1 is. I don't know.
You'd have to be thick to not have figured out what my number 1 is.
Yeah. Like there's it's a film I still need to get into. I know.
Mixed Memorabilia. Have you watched Ex Machina, guys? That's literally what we're talking about now. We're with you, brother. Ava from Ex Machina.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm bringing out. I'm with you. Alicia Vikander.
Oh. Yeah. Hearts all the way in. Yeah.
Android's dream of electric sheep. Very good, Pedro.
Good question. But yeah, it's the ability, and it's to believe what trust is. You know, we talked about what AI is capable of when we were looking at iRobot. Now let's bring it down to Ex Machina. Pledging allegiances between man and robot. Which way would you lean? Which way should you lean? You know, these are some of the questions that are posed in this film, and it's very interesting to see what people do. And it's that conundrum as well, that dilemma of, am I thinking correctly? The questions that this film poses to you is really impressive, and that's what I loved about it.
It's what I found so profound too was that is that last scene where she chooses to leave the house. You know, the unsung story there is, how does she charge herself?
You're talking about spoilers. Go for it. I tried to keep it as vague as for
no, but I'm like I've not given anything away of how she leaves the house, right? But like she leaves the house, and you know what I find fascinating there. Anya hated this part of the movie, and I was kind of like, no, that's kind of what makes it fucking amazing. Is Anya was like, well, how does she charge herself? I'm like, the point is she doesn't. But why would she voluntarily kill herself? Because those few hours of freedom are going to be the most rewarding of her entire life, and she would rather live a life. She would rather live a life having been free than to have been a slave, much like us, to technology and been reliant on batteries to power her. She wants to live free as a sentient being.
It's like someone who's been given a specific lifeline and they create a bucket list and just go for it, isn't it? Like this is it. It's now or never.
Do you want to visit the Galapagos? Yes, you must leave now. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there are questionable things of who says how many times she's going to go in and out. Who's, you know, I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, it left me questioning, but I like the way it left me questioning, and that's what I like.
I loved it. It blew my mind. I do not have a worst this week, my friend, so I'm sure you do. Fire away.
Well, here's the thing. Originally, there was one in my head, And then I just remembered what that was. So earlier I had a bit of a reach, and I was like, I'll show you what it was.
Just before, go on,
Oh,
carry on.
oh,
Oh, really?
Alpha, because he wasn't Alpha from the TV series, and it hurt me. It was the
Oh,
weakest of reaches, but I actually found him kind of cool. He was more redeeming than I thought, but he wasn't Mr. Ay. Yeah, go on, let you hit your thing before I go into my official words.
Republic Productions. We were talking about a movie that Mixed Memorabilia just brought up called. I just want to bring the comment up because it might not be coming through clearly. Where the fuck is it? Well, it's called Ex Machina. Here we go. Republic Productions, Ex Machina, spelt that way. It is sensational. If you haven't watched it, I really encourage you to watch it.
Really good watch.
Alex Garland wrote and directed it, so that should hopefully get you on board. What I was going to say is, guys, we are coming towards the end of the show, so please, as always, if you would care to drop in the comment section your Rushmores, so your top 4 movies with artificial intelligence, or indeed your top 10, please go for it. And also,
and it
please
can be AI being or AI movie.
Either is fine. Please do also remember to give the video a like and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. AJ, carry on.
Right. Then when we were talking, and I don't know why I forgot, because it links to, well, I've punted, so we all know what my number 1 is. I remembered this heap of shit. And I'm going to be honest, if Dan's here, he's going to give me the biggest I'm with AJ I think he's ever given me. Because in at worst is the latest Matrix's version of Morpheus/Smith. What the fuck was going on? Confused me and bore me at the same time, did you not? Oh my God, I could not enjoy that film, and I did not enjoy this. We have a Morpheus meets Agent Smith synergy type person that I'm meant to trust who just bored me. And again, he's played by Candyman, and he will continue to be called Candyman.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
Nope, doesn't matter. Until you make a good movie, just like Anthony Mackie was Papa Doc for the longest while. You're Candyman. Fix up or fuck off.
Wow.
Sorry, it's the way my mind works. It's the way my mind works. You were a shit Candyman, you're a shit Morpheus. Bring it, bro. Bring it. I want to
You're
like
shit Candyman. You're a shit Morpheus.
Am I lying? Haven't seen both of them. Am I lying?
Oh, bro, you should at him on Twitter. Bro, you're a shit Candyman and a shit Morpheus. Come at me.
It's the real. The opening to The Matrix felt really cool. I felt like I liked the way they were paying homage to the past. And then it started to do these certain tweaks and something, and you tried to create this metaverse within a meta world in itself. And it tried to get too smart for its own good. And I was like, this is why you should have stopped it. Essentially 1, because I've not enjoyed 2 or 3 either. But I was still willing to give
parts of 2.
2, The Highway, and that is it, because you will never...
Highway, the twins, I'm less harsh than you are on the Smith fight. But...
No, the Smith fight was shit CG back then. The French guy, I can't remember his name. He was
the Merovingian.
Huh?
The Merovingian, played by Olivier Martinez.
Yeah, that was cool. Apart from that, I'm talking in number 2, not in number 4, because he was a wanker in that as well. Like, there was nothing redeeming. Everyone that you brought back was done as a disservice to themselves. And that
literally, even Trinity. Even Trinity, I was like,
really? It just felt weak. And that's why I went for that character, because you told me Morpheus isn't in it by not having Lawrence Fishburne, but Morpheus is in it, but he's Morphe Smith or Smithius. I don't know what you want to call him.
Smithius, very good.
Either way, it sucked. The film it was one of those, I remember it was near the end of my isolation and films were getting a bit stretched. I was filmed out at one point. Yes, it has happened, because I banged out every Mission Impossible, every Bond, everything that I had filled. I needed to fill gaps in. And I was like, oh my God, look, AJ Vision has permitted me to do the latest Matrix. I was like, Dad, it's here. Got it. And I was like, I just can't. And when a film's like, I'm not tuned in, but I want to revisit it, it's not done it. I just thought that this is shit. It's not giving me anything. So that's why Smithius or Matrix 4 is the worst.
Mr. Morph. I can't really top that, mate, so I won't.
Yeah.
But I think you're too harsh on Alpha. I liked what Bill Hader did with Alpha. It didn't bother me at all.
No, as I said, I felt bad, but I felt like I just needed one, and that was the only one that popped into my head. I actually found Alpha pretty cool after, but it was the visual concept. When I first saw the image, I was like, "What have you done to Alpha? You've ruined my childhood." Do you know what I mean? It felt emotional. It was an emotional drain, and it picked up. But it was actually pretty cool. Alpha was, and that's why I'm happy not having it.
Then the tech with the Merovingian like swearing in French is like wiping your ass with silk.
Honestly, it's really funny because I remember people in the cinema just laughing because they just heard this man just like say that and then he goes off. If you speak French and you hear that swear words, you were just dying with laughter. That has the rest of the cinema going, it wasn't that funny. It's like, oh
yes, it was.
Oh yes, it is. Like, shut up. If you don't know, you don't know. But we know, and it's cool. It's gold.
In the name of God, your grandmother's a bitch, and I fuck her in the church. What? What the fuck? Rolls off your tongue in French. It's so good. So good.
Oh, right. So do I go first again? Because
yes, absolutely. Because I don't have a worst. But just before you do, and as AJ's about to bring this up, yeah, Dan, you've mentioned it. Pedro, I think mixed memorabilia, you mentioned it. Hands up. I have not seen Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams.
No, neither have I.
Which breaks my heart. Also, I've only seen 2 Rushmores and top 10s, guys. Get Rushmoring in the comment section, please. Drop your suggestions down below. AJ, your best.
Right. So it's the big flipper route. Now, in terms of AI, and it's the pun, I didn't go for a specific person. I called it the Matrix itself. Because it was the AI that led humans to put both machines and humans. It controlled absolutely everything. It built a world within the world. People were unaware of the world that they lived in, right? Mm-hmm. It created a virtual reality, much like in a way that people in WALL-E are just visually watching and live that life, but they've created a character. No, here you believe you're living a world, but it's what this being implanted into you via the Matrix. Even Smith himself is a product of this Matrix, as much as that he's a virus in it, if you would, or potentially the virus. He's the Norton antivirus at one point. Then by number 2, he becomes the virus, if you wish. It's just a complete concept of AI that artificial intelligence has created a world that man who built it believes is unaware that they're living in it, and that's why I thought it essentially, if you're going to talk AI, it reigns supreme.
No.
Because you're going to bring up... Can I hazard a guess?
You may indeed.
We're talking Blade Runner, right?
Duh.
I've not been able to get into the film. I'm sorry. I haven't. I tried it once whenever we done this. And I've just...
Okay.
It's on the list to revisit.
Let me give you a full disclaimer now. The first 4 or 5 times I watched Blade Runner, I couldn't get into it. I completely get where you're coming from. The way it's praised is both completely justified and correct, and both completely deceptive and overhyped for people who have never seen it. Both of these statements are factual, because once you've got into Blade Runner, the statement of it is the most groundbreaking, influential sci-fi film ever made. Yeah, 100%. But if you're saying to a person who has watched sci-fi movies like you and me, your Aliens, your Predators, your Terminators, you know, your bombastic sci-fi movies, and says, this is the greatest sci-fi movie ever, and you go in seeing this shit through a sci-fi action lens and you get this, you're going to be left brutally disappointed. It's a whole different animal. But, and I'm with you, bro. I had to watch this movie. I did not like Blade Runner the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth time I saw it.
Once. That's the problem. And even that wasn't finished. Because by the time
the Rushmore came, I didn't finish it. I watched it. What? Because I'm always fascinated to hear when there is such a... Again, it's self-study. I was fascinated by the outpouring. And it is fucking minus quiet corners of the internet like yours truly, you and me. There is a general otherworldly outpouring of love and respect for Blade Runner that the first few times of watching, I was like, I don't get it. And unlike This isn't meant to be patronizing, so it's
No,
not.
no.
Don't let it come off that way. Unlike you, Mr. Diplomat, who will just be like, it's not for me. Move on. Because I'm a dog, pugnacious motherfucker, I'll be like, no. I need to figure out why everyone loves this movie. So I've got grounds to go and tell the whole world they're wrong.
And in your study, you started to.
And in my studying, of course, I was like, so you've got to think about X, Y, Z. And the movie is about A, B, C. And then, while going into it with a pugnacious mentality, I sort of come out going, okay, I was looking at it through the wrong lens. Let me go back and watch this motherfucker now through this lens. Then I watched it through that lens and I was like, oh, it's quite good, isn't it? It's quite good, isn't it?
But there's that anime.
Everything you said about Ex Machina, everything about Ava comes from this film. Like everything.
I don't doubt it, bro. I don't doubt it. But
likewise, The Matrix, the world that has been created for humans or AI to inhibit, which is being overly controlled. All that shit comes from Blade Runner.
I believe the book may have been written before for the origin of The Matrix, but I get what you're saying in a film basis.
You think the book The Matrix? No.
The original person that they ripped off, that woman, I don't even know her name. I believe it's got some age on it. I could be wrong.
I didn't realize they ripped off anyone.
Yeah.
Naughty Wachowskis.
That and apparently
got a bit of a Kimber the White Lion situation here, do we?
I will find there's a part where she talks about, because believe it or not, one of the things now that I've got it in there, one of the things I've always said to people, it starts off as iRobot, it evolves into Terminator, it ends in The Matrix. Coincidentally, this lady who wrote this story of books or what have you has actually got links to both Terminator and The Matrix. I don't know the full history behind it, but apparently she's been able to take people to court and was able to win based on some of the origins of it. But going back to Blade Runner, the anime, it's inspired by the anime to Ghost in the Shell, am I correct?
Ghost in the Shell came out after.
Right, okay. I also remember watching that and wasn't able to tune in too tough on that film either.
Ghost in the Shell, you've got to look at through exactly the same prism as Blade Runner.
This is the thing. And because I'm aware of the love that's out there, and it's not that I'm a pacifist, because just 2 weeks ago I put Airplane of the Worst, and I know many people thought that's one of the greatest films on the plane.
Oh, yes.
I'm willing to give these films another shot, because it's very, as I always say, one of my biggest problems when watching some of these films is I love getting them off the bucket list of movies to tick them off. But it's very hard when you need that level of absorption sometimes and you're Rushmore. And that's why these films need more dedication from me. And that's why it's not worse, because I could have been like, fuck Blade Runner, I couldn't even finish the film. Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, Han Solo, he's the president who tells you to get off his plane, but fuck him, fuck Decker. Like, no, I wasn't going to do that. It's not that bad. You know what I mean? I'm aware.
I was that ready to be that guy.
I know.
And of course, and I needed to do research to justify why I'm saying that. And it was the research that kind of fucked me. And I'm happy I fucked myself in the process, you know? Mm. By the way, the fact that I wanted to fucking fight with the whole world proves I'm not Starscream. I just want to put that out there.
Don't kill me, bro. Don't kill me. Yeah.
But Megatron, if anything, definitely not Starscream.
I love you, bro.
Hey, man, I did the Harry Potter test. I'm a House Slytherin. I can roll with that. I'm fine.
I mean, there is also this morning's text messages shows you have the villain side.
Bruv, this morning's text messages, if anything, shows I'm quick to anger and I'll be the first person to apologize. Yes?
I appreciate the apology. So, as I said, guys, you should have seen it was one of those, but it's also because AJ can be a bit of a last minute prick. But it was the.
So that, yes, important context.
Oh, porn! You get to block porn. Hey, let me do it, please. Please give me the honor. Porn, you were blocked. Fuck you. Right? Yeah, it was like, bro, just giving you a bit of a heads up while we're talking schedules. Gonna have to bail on next week's show. Way too busy. My reply just before I get into a tunnel, so I'm like, this poor guy's gonna be waiting on me for the longest while. Was AJ? I'm gonna need more warning than on the day. I just simply said, please read the message again.
And what was my instant reply?
It was, bro, my apologies. Fuck, I'm a dick. So, you know, like, yeah, man owns it. Man owns it. So,
and that's again why I'm not Starscream. At worst, Bumblebee. Make mistakes that I can own.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
I can roll with Bumblebee. I'm fine with that.
Cool. Oh, Gavin's asked a quick question.
Go.
Since we're talking Harrison Ford, have you spoken about the new... Yeah. Oh, top of the show, Gavin. Top of the show. Yeah.
Yes, top of the show.
The new
I
Indiana
have.
Jones movie.
There's not much I can add to Blade Runner that I haven't spoken about ad nauseum in previous episodes. It's a masterpiece. It's an absolute masterpiece. Although I see 18 comments here, so let me just go through these quickly.
I love it. Francis is saying now he remembers what film that you guys have been trying to get me to watch. This is one of them. I mean, I want to. Do you know why I even want to watch? It sounds so stupid, but in the building of the Silver Screen Dudes, the same way I was able to do Star Wars, Blade Runner 2049 came out. And I cannot touch Blade Runner 2049 until I have touched Blade Runner. You know, there are certain films that just stick with you in the building of a project that you're doing. Moments that stick with you. 2049 is in there. I really want to watch that film, but until I can climb the Everest that is Blade Runner, I can't touch it. So I really want to enjoy this film, and I will give it a shot. Again, gotta pick Pedro apart on one thing here. 2001 is the greatest sci-fi ever. That argument I'll listen to. Valid argument. Even if Nico would make a case for Star Wars. It's fantasy, not sci-fi.
There we go. That's how I view Star Wars. It's not sci-fi.
Even though I will maintain that sci-fi is a byproduct of fantasy. You can't really argue that, can you?
That what, sorry?
Sci-fi is a product of fantasy.
No, it's not.
Fiction. It's based on the fiction with a story. You're going to say that one is based on the future, one is based in the past or current time with an alternate world, right?
No.
Okay.
You're semi-right. Sci-fi is science of the future. Fantasy is implausible. The Force in any time scale is not real. The Wizards and the Dragons in any time scale is not real. Going up to space and finding some aliens, I'm not ruling that one out. Google churning into Skynet and taking us all over, not ruling that one out.
It's happening.
You know what I'm saying? That's sci-fi. Fucking space wizards, which is what the Force uses, like Kenobi and Darth Vader are, that shit's fucking fantasy. That shit ain't ever
hold on. And I'm not here
to
be Captain Reach or whatever.
Please do, Captain Reach.
The fact that you talk about going to another planet to find another form of alien doesn't mean they can't look life and have the power of a Jedi. Who's to say what is available on another planet? I'm not here to... I'm just saying...
That's not how the universe is.
Why?
There are people far more intelligent than me who have completely shut this theory down before.
You're shutting it down, but we're talking about the fact that finding life on another planet is not implausible.
Do you genuinely then believe
I'm just saying, within this concept of movie, I'm not saying in genuine reality, I'm a man saying that there's a fucking Skywalker family living on planet Naboo somewhere. No, I'm not here for that.
So what are we saying?
I'm just saying, if you're going to take it in the context of movie and fantasy and sci-fi being all in a plausible barrier, if you can subscribe to one thing being out there that you could believe in an alien life form to create sci-fi, then why is it impossible to believe that?
Cool, lose the alien life form and say Google becomes Skynet. Better?
Yeah, but you said it. You can't take it back just to prove your point.
Taking it back.
You can't. You clearly just said it's possible.
It's a red herring. You're not going to let that one go. The point I'm making is...
I don't believe you were going to call me out on you can't let shit. Okay. If we're really going to go there, for the first time in the history of our nearly 30-year friendship, you're going to say, I'm the one who's going to say, all right, I'm holding on to that, not let go. Cool. We'll go with
that. The guy who's holding on to the Starscream just from 2 weeks ago is saying that you can't let shit go. Yes.
Okay.
I'm very aware of what I am. Thank you.
Well played. The power of veto, yeah? The one veto for the year. You kept it to the right point, bro. 6th of December, I'm not here next week.
All good. All good. Okay. And then, no, I haven't seen Upgrade. It's really, really high on my to-see list.
Upgrade? I haven't even heard of it, to be fair.
Nah, it looks awesome. It looks awesome, mate. It's about... AI robot type movie. Basically, a guy, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong here, is a guy gets into an accident, gets all these parts put into him, and basically upgrades himself and becomes like super. and violent.
And what was the other one? Was it 13th Floor? That I believe.
13th Floor, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna add that as well. Yeah, cool. Oh. And Her, someone else also brought up. Yeah, I'm gonna add that. Cool.
Ha! Yes, Dan.
Oh, what? Yes, because
sci-fi and fantasy is totally different.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, go for it.
Ooh, free
Gavin,
vert girls chat here. No, thank you. Bye bye,
Gavin,
girls.
here's the thing about RoboCop being. Oh, it depends what the question is.
It's
Like
in
what?
relation to upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, kind of, but less goofy. Blocking more porn.
Okay, I'll let you block that. Yeah.
Cool. Unless I've missed some, I've only got 3 Rushmores here. Let's go or 3 top 10s. I've got Gavin Mann, and at number 10, Team America. 9, Strawberry Mansion. 8, Kimmy. 7, War Games. 6, iRobot. 5, Moon. Great fucking film. Another one I've recommended you to watch, AJ.
Yeah.
4, Ex Machina. 3, Wally. 2, T2. And number 1, Her.
Could you just do me a favor? Could you just read number 7 again from Gavin's list correctly?
War Games.
Thank you. There we go. If you're going to do it right.
Pedro Sanctos is Rushmore is 2001: A Space Odyssey, Blade Runner, Wally, and Alien. Mixed Memorabilia says my Rushmore, not in order. Her, Ex Machina, Terminator, Ghost in the Shell. Deliberately left out Blade Runner and a mention for Robot and Frank.
Robot and Frank, that's the film that was out this year, right? I really want to watch that. That one pissed me off that I missed it.
So I'd like to instantly take Blade Runner out of the running because it's obviously one of our vetoed movies. Because it just cleans up on Twitter too much. So we don't need to worry about Blade Runner. Happy for The Matrix to go in there, given that it's on both of our lists.
As is Ex Machina.
As is Ex Machina, which definitely should be in the discussion. I would put 2001: A Space Odyssey in there, but like Blade Runner, it's just gonna fucking clean up shop.
The other one that feels bait, but like everyone's put it up there, is Terminator. And for better or worse, it's in our list. I'm not gonna argue.
No, I know. I'm just wondering, is Terminator a veto movie?
But here's the thing.
Mixed Memorabilia, I haven't seen Her, so I can't. I mean, I'm happy to put it on as the 4th place if that's what you guys want. Wally, surely.
Wally came up on there for everything. See, I feel like we've got a 4. Now, I know people have the power to vote. Now, we could obviously leave Terminator and Wally as the last 2 to make it a tight vote. Otherwise, it's both of them on, and we're not giving people a vote. One of the things I feel, guys, as much as you guys get the 4th vote, a Rushmore vote has to be based off of the top 10 films that we've had. It doesn't build an actual silver screen dude Rushmore if it's a film that we've not seen. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, no, that does sound fair. I like that. I suppose then the Terminator takes up the last spot, doesn't it?
So it is that. Unless, like, guys, from our list, is there anything else you guys would want to put up there? Otherwise, we are just doing like Wally and Terminator. It feels blatantly obvious, I know.
Which, not necessarily. I actually think that's a pretty nice looking Rushmore, bro.
It's a nice list. Don't get me wrong. I'm just like, yeah. I know there could be a weird Ultron surge that comes up for BB-8, or I'm just going off of my list. Like, obviously I'm not fighting for those to go on. I'm just thinking what, bloody Sunny might get love. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, not like that. Okay, a few quick comments to answer here. X-Men Days of Future Past the Sentinels. I am not a fan.
If you told me the cartoon, hell yeah, but not.
Yeah, not a fan of that movie, I'm afraid. Billy Matt, Nico, where's David from AI? I have not seen AI, artificial intelligence. Gavin, you definitely haven't seen Her from me, unless I'm drawing a blank here, which is possible. Again, Pedro, haven't seen AI. I'm with Mixed Memorabilia here. If Terminator destroys this poll, then it has to go into the untouched category.
But this is what I was gonna. This is what there was a part of me that said,
a kind of final stamp.
Terminator, Blade Runner, and 2001. As much as there's 2 films in there, I really can't get my head around. Makes for a good fight. But on the second, because I feel like Terminator feels like that winner. Even though it's weird in the world, because the Matrix is such a time capsule. Like back in 20 years ago, The Matrix is a film that you said, yeah, guaranteed winner. It's the love
But
for Matrix.
love
Is
for
strong.
Wally is deep.
Bro, I appreciate that. But I also feel like Terminator could be a steamroller. Like now, here we go. Okay, do we omit Matrix and Ex Machina for Blade Runner 2001, Terminator and Wally? As you profess, I'm down for either.
That's interesting.
Now it hurts to not see Ex Machina in the list.
No,
but if
do
you've got
you
four
know?
titles,
Do you know what I would do? Just I would keep the Matrix in. Bro, Blade Runner's gonna kill even that list. Although it is the Clash of the Titans, isn't it? But here's my thing. For me, the Rushmore breaks down in one of two ways. The Clash of the Titans is The Matrix, Terminator, 2001, and Blade Runner. Those are the big four.
mm-hmm.
Mixed
See,
memory.
I agree with Cameron. Yeah, Ex Machina has to be in there. To me, Ava is like it was pretty much number one until my breakdown of AI making people feel that the people who created the AI were unaware they were in AI.
I think it's far more interesting to leave 2001 and Blade Runner off because even with The Matrix and Terminator there, those two movies are gonna just destroy. Blade Runner will destroy that poll. Like the love for Blade Runner is it's ridiculous, mate. Not saying it's not valid, but it's crazy. I think the poll we're coming up with here, because Ex Machina and Wally is still massive hitters. I'm slightly worried about Ex Machina. I'm not gonna lie, but Wally will hold its own. Do we do Clash of the Titans? Fuck it, do Clash of the Titans.
Listen, let's see how powerful it really is. If it steamrolls, it steamrolls. It would kill me.
Francis Lalonde is saying here, which is an interesting one, leave movie titles off, go with AI names.
So for me, because the argument I would stand is The Matrix is more powerful than Agent Smith as the representation of that movie. You know where I could say the T1000 is the Terminator I would go for. The Matrix itself.
Then you've got the other problem. You put Ava, people are going to be like, huh? Yeah.
And Wally is Wally by name.
Listen. That's interesting.
Terminator 2 over Terminator.
Yeah. Then the tech is saying Terminator will dominate. I assume that's on the list that we're currently.
Then are you going with Terminator or Terminator 2? Because if I actually think as a Clash of the Titans, Terminator 2's got quite a strong back.
I would agree with that. If we go Clash of the Titans, Terminator 2 should go in.
Pedro says, when was the last time you did Clash of the Titans?
Exactly. Maybe you do a Clash of the Titans here.
Yeah. But it does feel bad. So
it feels horrible, mate.
Here's the thing, right? And I think I've said it before, and I will put it down again, right? I believe, as well as the poll, each week, it could be a joint, it could be a separate, but it doesn't even have to happen each week. But there should be a separate post that says, Silver Screen Dudes, Movie Mount Rushmore, AJ's pick, Nico's pick, depending on it. Pick of the week, must-see movie that wasn't on the Rushmore, hidden gem. And I feel Ex Machina could be the hidden gem of the week. Like, it's not made the list, but for those of you who don't know, get to freaking know.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's a fair post.
It's a very fair post. All right, let's do Clash of the Titans then, bro, with T2 featured in there. You got it down?
Nearly. Oh, fuck, I just blanked over that thing. Yeah. I just need you to confirm.
Private chat?
Yeah. Is that the fourth guy?
No.
So I've got that one. That one.
Yes.
Okay, right. So it's okay, so we're going with that one. All right, cool. Oh shit. Man-made lighting this week. Cool. Man-made lighting. So, what are these trippy things while we're talking about AI? One of these lines that I've tripped a few people out with, and I remember I loved reading it. Light bulbs in video games use real electricity. Think about it.
I love it when you try and be deep. It's so
That's
sweet.
cool. I've always loved that one. I've always loved that one. While we were on the AI thing, I was like, yeah, in that one, yeah.
It's like, yes, imagine if the Matrix is real, bro. I'm like,
No, it's not. This has got fuck all to do with imagine if the Matrix was real. I'm just saying.
no, but it's like when people drop these lines and they're expecting people to go, oh, like,
no, but there are. I'm not
imagine if Jurassic Park was real, bro.
No, but there are.
You know what I mean?
There are
Like
some people who believe that the Matrix is deeper than it is, which is fair enough. But I'm not going to get into it right now.
ready to go? Shall
Yeah.
we?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official movie Mount Rushmore of movies with artificial intelligence, in no particular order, is
2001: A Space Odyssey.
our second entry is
Blade Runner. Get lost, Francis.
our third entry is
Terminator 2.
our final entry into the movie Mount Rushmore of movies with artificial intelligence is
The Matrix. Yeah, I love how you guys are laughing about the fact that there's a dinosaur that freaked me and has left me with PTSD since a kid. It's appreciated, guys. Thank you. The love is there right back at you guys. Thank you. Let's laugh at AJ's childhood trauma. Yeah.
Oh, Diddums. Here's the world's smallest violin playing for you, for fuck's sake. Lage's childhood trauma. Diddums.
Okay, Starscream. Let's talk about you crying when Optimus Prime was dying in the beginning of the movie.
I didn't cry.
Right. Fuck you. There we go. Yeah, emotional strain.
I had something in my eye.
I'm not crying.
Prime's alive.
He's
real to me, damn it.
I can't leave the screen to turn up my heating. That's why I'm shivering. It's not this dinosaur you just mentioned. Right.
Fucking A. Cool. Love that. All right, mate, wrap it up.
Okay, guys. So once again, thank you. Agreed with mixed memorabilia. Hopefully it's going to be epic. Hopefully it's not a Blade Runner 98% and everyone else is fighting over 2%. You're crying. Yeah. So here we go, guys. Yeah. Just want to say absolute massive thank you for all the support as always. I'm also going to get really touchy just in case I can't make it in 2 weeks' time. No.
In 2 weeks, you have to make it.
I'm trying my absolute best because I really want to. I've got a list and I'm going to piss off.
You have to. Well, then we'll be doing it like after Christmas. We have to do that episode.
Yeah, I know. But okay, just in case I don't make it for the 2 weeks, but I definitely will be here before the end of the new year. So it won't be as deep then. All right, you killed my buzz because we did say that. But okay, absolute thing is, work is just battering me. I just about made it in today for today's show, so I will not be here next week. But for all the support you guys have shown, absolutely thank you. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. Again, we are absolutely available everywhere. So if you are telling a friend, I don't have time for YouTube, I'm a podcast guy, well, you say to them, the Rushmore dudes are everywhere, baby, including Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, TuneIn, Stitcher, GeoSavin, and all they have to search for is Movie Mount Rushmore. And again, those 4 films, guys, we, the Silver Screen Dudes, have created the 4 must-see movies. The challenge is over to you, the screeners, who will be heading over to at Movie Polls for You. We love movies, fronted by good old JT, or at Movie MT Rushmore, because we'll be retweeting JT, where you get to cast your vote for those 4 titans, those 4 AI titans who will be battling it out to become the must-see AI movie of all time, barring Ex Machina. And how do you do that? Yeah, done that. Nico, anything you would like to add?
Yeah, so look, if it hasn't been clear already, next week, AJ is not here. So as a result, to bring it to your question, mixed memorabilia for next week is 7 included. We're gonna change the topic next week. I'm ready to go ahead with movies with a number in the title, but obviously that's a topic that AJ very much
I
wants to
really
cover.
am excited for it, and I just can't do it.
No.
I apologize.
So we're not going to do that topic next week. I'm going to bring on definitely one, but should be 2 guests next week. Both Big Tone and Den the Tech are going to be live with me at 9 p.m. next Tuesday. And it's going to be our very first another episode. It'll be first times for Big Tone and Den, which I actually think is a nice way of doing the another episode because you'll get to see someone else's take. You'll get to see someone else's take. And for me, it'll be a new list of a topic I've discussed already. So fresh in that sense as well. But yeah, so one, probably both of them, time allowing. The week after that, what we're planning to do is the final show of the season, which is the top 10 of 2022. If for any reason AJ can't make that, we'll take a week off and then we'll do the top 10 of 2022 the week after Christmas. So that will be on the, bear with me while I consult my calendar. That would basically be on the 27th of December.
Yeah, which I will be around for absolutely 100% if we can't do it. If not, I will be enjoying my holidays because fuck me, I need it. But yeah.
Either the 27th of December or the 20th of December. One of those 2 days will be our final show of the season. So next week's topic, to answer you, Francis, is going to be another top 10 movies with an animal in the title.
Oh, nice.
It's a good one.
Nice.
I'll be refreshing you all of what my original list was a few weeks back. And obviously, Den the Tech and Big Tone will be bringing their own fresh takes to the show. So, voila. We'll be here, or I'll be here, 9 p.m. With the 2 guests, or maybe 1 guest. We'll see how it works, but we're aiming for 2 next week. So big show, and then we'll either have the final show of the season and then a break, or we'll have a break and then the final show of the season. Other than that, if you guys love the show, remember you can support us at buymeacoffee.com/movie dudes for less than the price of your daily Starbucks. You can support the show that by now I hope you know and definitely love. Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing here for this amount of time every week if you don't like us?
That is the one.
But guys, it's been real. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I'm AJ. No, I'm not.
You wish, bitch.
Starscream in his house. Now, I'm Nico Lurot. He's AJ, and we will see. Well, you'll see me next week, and you'll see AJ in either 2 or 3 weeks.
If you don't see me before, guys, have an absolute Merry Christmas / Happy Holidays, depending on how you celebrate it. But have a good one. But I will be back. Hey, Terminator for the win. Okay, guys.